Hank has to go on vacation that week.
Yes, that's true. But I'm going to say that right now.
Yes, it does. Yes,
No,
it
it
does.
doesn't. No,
Yes,
it doesn't.
17.
No, it
69.
doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
All right, then
It
guess.
should. 12. You can't do that.
I can do whatever I want.
that's fucked
It's
up.
my lottery ball machine, buddy. What were you saying, Hank?
just
Are you
pointing out.
protesting what I was saying?
Are you noticing or are you saying
Doesn't count. I'm going to do this all the time.
17.
No, it doesn't count. This doesn't count. There's 99 in there. That officially does not count. On today's Part of My Take special Thanksgiving football episode, we're going to do everything. We're going to talk about the Thanksgiving games. We're going to talk about Sunday. We have a World Cup preview with Taylor Twellman. Yes, a World Cup preview. It's about to start. Hopefully U.S. beats Wales. I think they'll probably will, right?
Well, yeah, I think right now all we know is that U.S. is dominant against Wales historically. Argentina is looking like a wagon.
Yep.
And then Italy's a powerhouse as usual.
Yes. So World Cup preview with Taylor Twellman. One question with the quarterback with very special, newly minted Grey Cup champion Swag Kelly. And we got Hot Seat Cool Throne. Great show for you. We'll also give a point in the show when you can pause if you have to work on Friday. And it's all brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Game Time is a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, don't know what you're waiting for, you guys are going to love this app. We've been using Game Time all year, and Jake went to Syracuse versus Richmond at Barclays.
It was wild. Saw Jim Boeheim.
Yeah, I got a little issue with you. I got a little
sorry.
issue with you.
Richmond hit a buzzer beater.
And you didn't mention it. You're like, hey, Syracuse, awesome win.
I know. I thought of it.
Yeah, but Game Time. Game Time
Yes.
set it up. You had great seats with the boys. Download the Game Time app. Go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed with the Game Time app. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by Game Time. Go to the Game Time app right now. Go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Today is Wednesday, November 23rd, and happy Thanksgiving to all.
My favorite holiday of the year.
Easily.
I love Thanksgiving. It is
the best.
It's the best. It's a holiday that is entirely centered around eating, drinking, and football.
Yeah.
It's fucking heaven.
It's basically a holiday meant to act like the fattest, grossest slob degenerate, and it's all like part of celebrating it.
Yeah.
Like if you just eat way too much, you drink too much, and you watch too much football, you did a good job celebrating Thanksgiving. It's the best. It's the absolute best.
It's the best. Also, I think, Big Cat, you're on this team with me. It's a great time to eat stuffing, but stuffing should be year-round.
Yes.
It should not be
Big
limited
time.
to the holidays.
Big time.
I love stuffing. It's maybe my favorite dish, favorite side dish. I would like to enjoy stuffing occasionally in the autumn, in the spring, in the summertime.
It's just
mix it around a little bit.
It's such a fat guy dish. That's why I think it gets only put out once a year.
It's really just bread,
right? Exactly.
And then you pour animal fat onto it.
It's bread, like just given to you a different way. Yeah, and sometimes you put sausage. I like little sausage and cornbread in my stuffing.
Yeah,
like
and
the
then
whole thing.
And then you douse it in gravy.
Oh.
You could actually make the argument it's the perfect split between a soup and a cereal.
Yeah,
in a way.
a sandwich.
And a sandwich.
Yeah,
it's everything.
So yeah, Thanksgiving special. We're gonna do all of our Thanksgiving games before the Taylor Twellman interview. Then we will do a Sunday preview after. So if you have to work on Friday, quit your job. But if you can't quit your job because you need to live, then just pause it. We'll tell you when to pause it. But let's talk a little Monday Night Football. The 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers, they are scary. And this, Jimmy G, this is the portion of the year that we have, I think, every year with Jimmy G, where it's like he puts together a few games in a row. And I saw a stat where he was like, in all meaningful quarterback metrics, he's like top 10.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Well, he's number one when it comes to just winning football games.
That's a fact.
Jimmy G's a winner. He's a goddamn winner. He played really well last night. He had a little zip on the ball. Colt McCoy, I thought that he was going to come out a little bit stronger than he did.
Yeah.
I always forget because you always get one good Colt McCoy game per year, and then you think it's going to carry over to the next week, and you're like, no, Colt's the perfect quarterback to come out of nowhere and to play really, really well. This team, the Cardinals just weren't ready for it. Like
No.
they weren't ready at all, and it was
Even had DeAndre Hopkins get the penalty for pointing at the 49ers. It's like, dude, you guys are so bad. You can't go backwards on these type of play. Like a good play can't now go backwards.
Yeah.
Because you're taunting the opponent.
you can't taunt in the middle of the field. Like I don't like that. If you score a touchdown and you the point like AJ Brown did, I
Yeah.
love that. He's like, fuck you.
Right.
I'm better. That's cool. If you do it in the middle of the field, it's like, dude, you're celebrating a 12-yard game.
Yeah, it was right. It was nothing special, and he did that. And yeah, the Cardinals are an absolute dumpster fire. I was thinking about this with Jimmy G. I think if you combine Jimmy G and Russell Wilson, you'd have the best quarterback in the NFL. Because Jimmy G throws it over the middle so well.
They'd have a perfectly average amount of sex.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But he throws. I feel like Jimmy G's number one pass is that slant that he hits perfectly. Russell Wilson can't throw that. Jimmy G doesn't throw it deep. Russell Wilson can. They win that Super Bowl. If Russell Wilson's a quarterback, he would have hit that deep pass.
That's true. He would have hit that deep pass, and then Jimmy G would have beaten the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If he was on the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes. So
That's
is
weird.
yeah,
Wow,
over the middle.
sliding
yes.
doors.
Right. I'm saying, right. Like he throws that pass so that Malcolm Butler doesn't intercept it. Jimmy G does. And Russell Wilson throws a pass. Who was it that he missed by 2 yards on the 49ers? Name. Line.
Was it? It wasn't
Who's
Crabtree.
got it? No,
Emmanuel
it wasn't.
Sanders.
Yes, thank you.
Emmanuel in
Good
space
memory.
on that one.
But yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking about you put them together, someone face smash them, the best quarterback in the NFL.
What's their name? Jussel Wapolo.
I like Wapolo, although that's very
What?
It's anti-Italian discrimination.
Well, no,
my children are Italian.
Jussel Wapolo.
Wapolo.
I kind of like that.
Go Wapolo.
Our
Jimmy Guwap.
Yeah.
yeah.
Gilson?
Remy Gilson.
Remy Gilson sounds like
That's-
a hot porn star.
Remy Gilson is yeah.
Yeah.
That
What were you going
does
to
it
say,
for
Hank?
me.
You disagree with us?
I just think you guys are discrediting how good Russell Wilson was. You know, he's past his prime.
No, but he's
Jimmy
always
G is
No, Russell Wilson has always been very good, but he has always struggled throwing it over the middle of the field because he can't see.
It's just a fact.
That's not his strength of his
think
game. His strength of his game is those deep moon balls that always hit and, being
think
elusive.
What happened here was Hank heard us say that if Jimmy G was a quarterback on
Yeah,
the Seahawks,
and
the
then he
Patriots
just-
would have lost.
he was like,
and then Hank freaked out.
You guys are
fact or
trying to
fiction,
shit
Hank?
this
fact or
That's
fiction.
that is a
Fiction.
100% a
fan
fact.
fiction.
I just want to say, I love Mexico. I love the NFL games
Yes.
in Mexico. They need to. What's that, Hank?
Nothing.
What are you
Nothing,
giggling about?
Nothing.
You giggled
I'm sorry. I apologize for laughing.
regarding what?
Nothing.
Your love of
This-
Mexico.
I'm all
It's
serious
distracting.
from here on out.
It's distracting, Hank.
Yes, sir.
I love Mexico. I love the fans in Mexico. I like how it's got kind of a quasi-professional wrestling vibe
Yep.
in the stadium down there. The dude that announced it on ESPN last night, absolutely electric, just screamed into the camera for about 30 seconds.
Yep.
I was ready to go. It was a perfect environment for Kittle.
Our
to
guy
score
Kittle,
2
yeah,
touchdowns.
was awesome.
Running-
Business decision by the Cardinals. Cardinals are dead.
They didn't want to tackle.
They don't want to play. Cliff Kingsbury, you have to fire him. They're stuck with Kyler Murray. The whole thing is just a disaster for the Cardinals. We have a couple teams now. It's funny how if you fire your coach early enough in the season, I take you out of the disaster category because they're kind of moving the Panthers are moving in the right direction, even though the Panthers were more of a disaster than the Cardinals.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, as long as you have him around, Hard Knocks gonna be great, and I don't really know what else. You're not winning football games.
Look at it like a house. I would say that the Arizona Cardinals, you can build around that. You don't even have to remodel it that much,
Yeah.
right? It's got good bones, probably in a good neighborhood. With Cliff Kingsbury, it's like the previous tenant died in there.
Yeah.
And so you just got to clean the stink out real quick.
And Steve Keim, both of them, I think 2027 was their contract.
Yeah, so the previous tenant died, and then you've also got the previous tenant's old in-laws living in that weird house in the
Yeah.
backyard that you're just waiting on them to die too.
Yeah.
But it's in a great neighborhood.
It is in
You
a
got
great
pool,
neighborhood. Beautiful weather.
beautiful weather, lightning fast lightning fast internet speed.
Yes. So the Cardinals, it's over. This has been the easiest pinky team ever. They
Yeah.
were both pinky teams, the Raiders and the Cardinals.
Either
Dead.
one would have worked.
As dead as dead gets.
So I forgot that this game was going to be played in Mexico until we talked about it last week. because I don't know. I tend to have a pretty good beat on what the international series is going to be. This one kind of snuck up on me a little bit. The Mexico over did end up hitting with the altitude, which is like twice as high, I think, as in Denver. So fun little story. I hit up Kittle on Friday because one of my great friends just got engaged, and he's a Scottish 49ers fan. Don't ask me how he fell in love with the 49ers, but he did. And I was like, Greg, if you can send just a message saying congrats to my Scottish friend Patty, you can take my spot on Part of My Take if I get arrested in Qatar.
Yeah.
Because he did audition for it when I went over to Hong Kong.
He's the only person who's ever auditioned for your seat.
So he sent my friend Patty a video, and I didn't realize this. At the very end of the interview, or at the very end of the video, he said, now sack tap PFT for me. And so my buddy was watching it on Friday night, saw it, hit me so fucking hard in the nuts.
That's
it
awesome.
Ruined my night. But on the other hand, I was like, that's pretty cool.
You should have watched the whole video.
Yeah, well, I should have.
Yeah, you got to watch the whole video.
I didn't because it was for him, but like they got me.
Yeah.
They got me good.
That's great. George Kittle's the man, and he scored 2 touchdowns, and I just love watching him play football. It feels like he's healthy, and the Niners are the scariest team. They are the scariest team in the NFL. I know that doesn't mean they're the best. They're the scariest.
Yeah.
Because it feels like when they're right, and it's probably more about Kyle Shanahan's system, and when the blocks are correct and everything's working, it basically feels unstoppable. But with Debo, Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey, it's scary.
And Trent Williams.
And Ayuk.
Yeah, and Ayuk too. Yeah, he had some good block. When they get running downhill at you, it's
beautiful.
It's beautiful. It is like the most beautiful brand of football that you can imagine. And a lot of people are, they look at offenses like the Chiefs or the Bills that have these huge passes downfield and just like electric quarterbacks with great arms. That's cool too. But when the 49ers get their running game going, it is fucking sexy.
Poetry in motion. Okay, so should we do some Thanksgiving stuff? Because that was Monday Night Football. I'm thinking, Will Compton, year 10, happened. He's on the Falcons now. That was the other big NFL news from yesterday. Will Compton, huge news.
Big news.
Enormous news. Falcons now look very dangerous.
It was going to lead me into my favorite. I was going to take the Commanders.
We're not doing that till the other side of the show.
I'm factoring Will Compton heavily into that.
Will Compton, I mean, he basically single-handedly took the Raiders to the playoffs and then got cut, but he took them to the playoffs.
Playoff Willie for a reason.
Playoff Willie.
If he's playoff Willie again, and I am rooting for him because of the Falcons' future, like that would be amazing. Like you saw, Arthur Smith after the last game was like, we're going to stick with Mariota until we're out of this playoff hunt. They're bringing in Will Compton.
Playoff Willie.
They're going all in.
Yes.
We talk about the different teams. The Eagles are all in right now. The Niners all in. I think it's safe to say the Atlanta Falcons are all in.
They are all in. They've mortgaged their future for playoff Willie.
They have. Fuck them picks.
Yes, playoff Willie. Okay, let's do the Thanksgiving preview. Talk about the games. Maybe even what everyone's favorite Thanksgiving food is. It's brought to you by our friends at Muggsy Jeans. This is your chance if you ever want to try out the most comfortable yet stylish clothing in the entire world. Go to Muggsy.com now and shop everything at prices up to 30% off. They never do sales like this. It is absolutely massive, and the only time of the year that you can get your stuff up to 30% off. The perfect gift for anyone in your life that you want to show you care about. Just be careful because they will really, really love you after you give them Muggsy. So wield that power responsibly. Not only the world's greatest jeans, but also super awesome flannels, jackets, cashmere, holiday party pants, joggers. I just got a sweatshirt from there. I love it. Check it out with Muggsy.com. This is it. This is when holiday legends are made. Establish yourself as the greatest gift giver in history, or treat yourself by heading over to Muggsy.com for up to 30% off the entire site, full of the most comfortable and best-looking jeans, pants, and tops this world has ever seen. That's Muggsy.com. No code is necessary, up to 30% off your entire order with free shipping and free returns if you don't like them. I'm wearing my Muggsies right now. I love Muggsies. Go right now, 30% off the entire store. Okay, Thanksgiving. 3 games. What we're going to do is everyone's got 1 pick for Thanksgiving, and then we'll do our usual 4 picks on Sunday. Jake, where are we at right now? I know Max had a big week.
Max went 4-0.
Yeah, because he did. The tell was very, very apparent when he popped in on Sunday. He's like, seems like everyone's killing it this week with picks. And I was like, I'm not. And he's like, oh. And Jake's like, well, you are, Max.
Well, the good news for Max is he's 4-0. The bad news jumped into second place.
Oh.
So that's a little twist of this competition.
Yes.
So Big Cap, you're at 23-20-1. So you're 3 games up on Max, 20-23-1. PFT and myself are 20-24, half game behind him, and then Hank and Billy tied for last at 17-27. So there's 3 games separating the 2 of them. So right now it'd be Max and either a tie for Hank and Billy. But a lot of picks left.
A lot of picks.
There's
Hank,
4
you
times
okay?
7, 28 picks. So
28 picks. Well, 29.
29
We're doing
picks.
Thanksgiving.
29 picks.
You okay, Hank?
No.
Why not?
The whole group is separated by like 4 games. Like no one's safe from anything.
Yeah, I just want to be better. I'm
Hank-
mad at myself. I hold myself to high standards, and
You
I'm not
demand
meeting
I
those.
just
better.
want to let you know though that you are not what your record is. Like that doesn't identify you.
Yes.
That's not your identity. You
was
I
understand?
know
not
we're talking
alone.
about Thanksgiving and family, and it's like I feel like that's all people are going to ask me about.
It's 6.5 games.
You are not alone in being a bad
I'm
gambler.
like, hey Henry, good to see you.
You're
17
so much
and
more-
27. What the fuck?
You're so much more than a bad gambler. You're a bad lottery ball picker too.
And Hungry Dog Parlay.
I'm doing one for Thanksgiving.
Good. It will lose.
Well, Hank, this
And
is
I'll
the
bet
first
on it.
time you went at least 2-2 since week 6.
Yeah,
So
fuck yeah.
Oh, hell
How
yeah,
you
all
like
right.
them apples.
All right, so
Week
go ahead.
6?
It's week
7
12.
through 11, 7 through 10, you went 0-4, 0-4, 1-3, 1-3.
That's
It's
tough.
week 12. Okay. Hank, you can pick from any 3 games. You can pick any pick.
Patriots money line, big.
Well, so
Yeah.
you get +3.
Don't care.
Oh, is it 2.5?
2.5.
2.5. You think the Patriots talk to us?
I think it's going to be a shootout. 2 great teams. Vikings, Kirk Cousins, elite. They're going to have a bounce back game after, got a little bit caught off guard, a little bit of a trap game, knowing that they had this game coming up on Thanksgiving. It's kind of a look ahead. And I think Mac Jones is going to ball out again. The offense is going to be, buzzing, probably take an alternate over.
Wait, were you-
Thanksgiving gonna
were
Are you
be.
saying that
buzzing?
the Vikings got caught in a trap game last week?
They got caught in is that a look ahead? Is the proper word?
A look ahead to the
at it.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
They're
thinking
the
about the
Cowboys.
Patriots instead of the Cowboys.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's what I thought.
Naturally.
Okay.
I have a stat, though, for you.
Don't care.
Okay. So I'll just put it back in my
Is
pocket.
it a good stat or a bad one?
No, it's a good one.
All right,
but
all
it's-
right. I care.
Oh, okay.
It's at 1 o'clock, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, it's then mid-afternoon, right?
Incorrect, PFT.
Oh, so it's nighttime.
Night
Kirk
game.
Cousins, nighttime.
Night
Interesting.
game.
I would say, though, that all Thanksgiving games are primetime, no?
All of them are nighttime games?
Yeah, I actually kind of
Standalone.
agree with
Standalone
Hank. They are
primetime.
prime time
Yeah.
in their own right.
Like the Crews are setting their A teams.
yes.
That's
correct.
how I go off is
Jim
is the
Nance
cruise.
Yeah.
is doing
That's how I watch all
30
my
games. So
I don't really enjoy the game unless the A cruise.
Nope.
In the last 15 years, Bill Belichick has faced 11 teams in November or later who are above 500 with a negative point differential. He's 10-0 against the spread against them.
Love that.
So
Yeah.
basically, the teams that look good on record and are terrible because everyone knows they're actually terrible.
Uh-huh.
And the Vikings aren't terrible, but frauds, let's say. Bill Belichick owns those teams.
I think they're legitimate frauds though because they're going to keep winning.
Yeah, right.
And,
Like we
and
said,
then
they're
we
going to win
know.
a lot of games.
So I did a little look ahead because you were Big Cat. You were generous enough last week to show me the path to the playoffs for the Commanders.
I think they're going.
And if they do get there, they'll probably end up being the 7th seed. And I realized what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to be the 7th seed. I'm going to play against Kirk Cousins in the first round, and he is going to whoop the dog shit out of me. Yes, that's what's going to happen in the playoffs.
You're going to win.
I see it coming a mile away. Now, I'm okay with that. I understand that that's my fate already, and I accept it. But this would go a long way to maybe them not getting the 2 seed if the Patriots could win.
Yeah. So go win. Go win, Hank. Go out there and win.
Fine.
Okay.
Thanks. I'm very excited, though. Ever since you kind of burst my bubble with the
Yeah.
The
You
Thanksgiving,
You
I'm
couldn't
just-
have jumped on the Minnesota Vikings bandwagon at a worse time. They were an 8-1 team that lost their worst loss in 50 years, and then they play your actual team the next week.
that, I mean,
Not a lot of
that's
foresight.
That's a sign of how I've been how it's been going for me this year. But primetime Thanksgiving night, all the holidays are over. You don't really have to worry about sometimes if you're playing in the early games and it's Thanksgiving, you have to kind of do dinner and only half watch TV. It's a little bit more of a balance and kind of you have to mix and match. But the night game is perfect.
Yeah, they didn't used to always have the night game either. That's a fairly recent addition that they put out there.
Do you know when it came?
Was that Ravens Steelers?
was it about fumble?
What year do you think?
2010?
2009.
2006.
Okay.
So I also was like, it's very recent. It's like 2006 isn't that recent anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
That's like one of those things. Like
I still remember it. That's how I go off of
right.
it. Yeah.
But that's because I had the exact same thought last night when I was prepping for the show. I was like, "What? When did this actually start?" And 2006 was what, 16 years ago. So yeah, that sucks.
That is tough.
That sucks. It's not. It's no longer a recent addition. But yeah, the night game is the game that you get to like actually sit and consume the whole game.
Yeah. What's the next holiday for the NFL? Because they've already shown that they can take Christmas,
Diwali.
which they have. Diwali might be next.
Black Friday.
Hanukkah,
Yeah.
Black Friday. That's right. They're going
It's gonna
Black
be
Friday.
Black Friday.
They can schedule a game on Easter Sunday, just a standalone game,
Schedule game whenever they want.
and then nobody would go to church. We'd all stay at home and watch this game.
I still don't really understand how Bezos is even going to buy the Commanders.
He's
owns
like
Amazon
the
and
richest
they
guy in the world.
broadcast, but how is that not a conflict of interest?
Do you think Roger Goodell actually cares about a conflict of interest? If it
No.
would make the median price of every team in the NFL increase by like 30%?
Yeah, but it's someone with legal knowledge needs to explain that to me because it doesn't make any sense.
I agree with you.
He can just say like, "Oh, it's in a blind trust," and then everybody will be like, "Oh, okay, blind trust."
Yeah, we're blind to it.
Yep.
I think that's how it works. Max, so you have the Patriots plus 2.5
Money line.
money line, but okay, so fine, fine. You have money line. Counts as one.
Wait, so is this real?
No.
Okay, all right, 2.5. Stop saying money line.
But I'm taking a money line.
Okay.
I'm taking Bills Lions over. Fun wake ups, root for points.
54.
54.
I like that. That's gonna be very fun over.
I'm also taking that over.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that game. Josh Allen, Thanksgiving. Oh, it's gonna be fun.
They're gonna have the turducken.
Yeah. They also.
It's the first Thanksgiving without John Madden, right? First Thanksgiving game.
When did he die?
I think he died in December of last year.
Yeah, you might.
So
be
this is
right.
gonna be the first one. That's gonna be. It's gonna be
might be
sad
right.
without him, but
That will be sad.
They need to do like a full montage appreciating how much John Madden loved that fucking turducken.
I was I like I said, I was looking up Thanksgiving history with the NFL, and I thought there was going to be something cool with the Lions, like why this happened. It was just the Lions owner was like a savvy businessman, and he was like, I want to do a game where everyone has to watch.
Yeah.
And then the Cowboys were like, yeah, we want that too.
That's
and
smart.
they came later. And that was it. Like it was, I thought it was gonna be something very cool. Like, oh, the first ever game of football in November played outside of Detroit. So I'm like, no.
If they were smart, they would have just found something in history and tied it into that.
Yeah, just
be
been
like,
like, this is
that's
what
why
it
we're
is.
doing it.
Yeah,
But no,
this-
it's just like we'd like more money, please.
Yeah, this is exactly what it is. Yes, you're right. Yeah, John Madden died December 28th, 2021. So this will be.
There's going to be a John Madden logo on the 25-yard lines at each game.
Oh, I
yes.
love that. Very cool. What kind of logo is it? John Madden's face?
Oh, I love it.
That's
Him
beautiful.
being held up.
This is why whenever all those British fucks, yeah, I'm in war mode for Friday. We're like, you don't understand what the Queen means to us. Like, yeah, we do. John Madden, dude.
Oh,
we get it.
John Madden impacted way more lives
Yeah,
than the Queen.
Yeah, but I'm saying like we get it. We get the cultural like touchstone here.
Yes.
It's John Madden. He's going to be on every field. He should be on every logo on every field every Thanksgiving forever.
They should just name football after him.
Yeah.
Name the NFL, the Madden League.
They should put Plymouth Rock in his coffin.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Like let's go. Let's
We didn't
just
land on
make,
John Madden. John Madden landed on us.
Yes, let's just make Thanksgiving is just John Madden's birthday.
Yeah.
We'll just say that from now on.
A turducken should be called a Madden bird.
It's just like it's John Madden. All the lore.
R.I.P.
Okay, so the over in that game is 54, right? The Lions, by the way, have lost 15 consecutive games straight up as an underdog on Thanksgiving. So they're 9-point underdogs. So probably not smart to just bet the Bills money line straight up. But
No.
but it's been a while.
It was very funny. A lot of people did send me their schedules for what they do in Detroit on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving because everyone does get into their routine. But for the most part, they've just kind of accepted the Lions losing
I told
as
you.
being part of the holiday.
Didn't I call that?
Yeah, and it's like okay, I'm going to be upset, but guess what? I'm going to be drunk by the second half, anyways.
Right.
So,
I think it's probably just one of those situations where everyone just bonds over the fact that the Lions suck, and you can't let it. You can't have a football game ruin your Thanksgiving every single year and not get to a point where it's like I choose not to let this ruin my Thanksgiving anymore.
yeah.
Yeah. So what's your pick?
My pick, I'm going to go with another over. I'm going to do the Giants-Cowboys over. 44.5. So I wanted to do the fun over. That to me seemed better, but that's a lot of points. This is fewer points, and also I feel like they are both showing off for Odell Beckham.
I am also going to do that over. So over 44.5.
And it might be the Cowboys might get it on their own because they looked unstoppable last week.
Yes, and I think the Cowboys are going to demolish the Giants. This is where the Giants, if they lose by double digits, it's going to start being like,
Mm-hmm.
like the free fall. The real Giants, the roster that isn't that good, is shown up.
I don't know if they're going to lose by double digits though.
I'm just saying, if that happens, you're right. I would actually say, because remember, what was it? Maybe 2 years ago when the Raiders beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys. Whenever you think the Cowboys are good on Thanksgiving, I feel like they lay an egg.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're probably right. It'll probably be closer than that. But I'm just saying, if the Giants look bad for 2 weeks in a row here, after kind of struggling weirdly with the Texans, I think we all can circle it and be like, maybe this isn't a playoff
Well,
team.
we've kind of been in the same mood about the Giants all year, which is just the bubble's going to burst at some point.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy the bubble.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the bubble. That's a beautiful bubble that you're blowing right now.
Yes.
But at some point, somebody's face is going to get stuck in it.
Yes.
And I think
It's going to get in someone's hair.
Yeah.
Do the peanut butter.
Yeah, we're thinking that might have to be in these next couple weeks.
Right. Okay.
But not taking anything away from the Giants because they've been a good team and a
Yes.
fun team to watch. It's
Yes.
just not forever.
Jake, your pick, because Billy, you also have the over in the first game.
I'm going with Patriots-Vikings under 42.5. The Patriots have not allowed a touchdown in the last 2 games, and I don't know if they can necessarily score that
Okay,
much.
so if you go to the Barstool Sports book, we have the new Overs Club out, the Big Gobble. So, Jake, you are not a member of the Overs Club. Just want to say that right now. Great jackets that you can win. You're out.
I'm out.
The big gobble.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You want you take the under.
Well, it can still hit. And
It can.
the
It can.
under.
It can.
So,
You're right.
come on.
You're right.
We can get an overfest and get 70 points in the first game.
It should be in the law that the games have to go over on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's something that you just need for the world.
Yeah.
It should almost be like, I wish we were living in a simulation where they could make it so that everyone gets a free win every Thanksgiving.
That would be
Just
nice.
Boost the morale of the world.
That would be nice, but also there's something nice about having one game that's not like a points factory during Thanksgiving, because we all have
You can
things
take
that we
your eye
have
off
to do.
of, yeah.
Yeah, whether it's tending the turkey, preparing a side dish, going for a walk with your cousins, Hank.
Mm-hmm.
There's all sorts of things that happen on Thanksgiving that you want to be able to. Everyone needs a pause button.
Yeah. I'm doing Thanksgiving, the one tip I'd give everyone is always just make sure that you find something that you can help out with and volunteer for it early in the day. Because you want to start getting that credit early in the day.
Yep.
I can go grab this, or I can go do this, or take out the trash, or do something. Some kind of errand or chore.
Taking out the trash before the trash actually fills up is a great move.
Yes. But find that chore, find that errand, and nail it, and just absolutely nail it. Okay. Anything else for Thanksgiving? Anyone want to say something they're thankful for?
Hank gave me a little look when I said that he goes for a walk with his cousins. You were the one that brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
Today?
No, but it's something that you said that you enjoy doing.
It's on your Mount Rushmore of Thanksgiving
Yeah.
things from years ago.
Hank's feisty.
No,
He gets feisty around vacation times.
I'm very thankful for you guys. It's not vacation times. It is vacation times.
Yeah, it is vacation time.
I'm very thankful
if-
for you guys. I'm very thankful for the show. I'm very thankful for the AWLs. I don't appreciate PFT trying to create and manufacture drama and saying that I'm giving looks when I'm just giving,
Max, did you have the camera on Hank when he gave me that look?
No comment.
It was man. I don't know why you're so upset.
I'm
Hank.
thankful. I'm thankful.
I'm not thankful for you gaslighting.
I'm
me.
thankful for the lottery ball machine making sure that Hank never wins. I'm thankful for that. It's one of my favorite. I look forward to it every day that we tape the show, being like, today's the day that Hank won't get it.
I look forward to it too. I'm thankful for the lottery machine as well. It keeps me humbled. It gives me a reason to wake up in the morning, and I'm excited. I'm excited to win.
And you're not mad.
And I'm excited to share with. No, I'm not. Different, it takes time, Big Cat. Everyone's different.
This one doesn't count.
Yes, it does. Yes,
No, it doesn't. No,
Yes,
it doesn't.
17,
No, it
69.
doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
All right, then
It should.
guess.
12.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
53.
53-man roster.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for whatever that was right
You
there.
can't do that.
I can do whatever I want.
that's fucked
It's
up.
my lottery ball machine, buddy. I can do whatever I want. Okay.
Side note, I'm very thankful for you guys.
I'm thankful for all you guys. I'm thankful for the listeners, truly. And yeah, I love Thanksgiving. It's the best. I love everything about Thanksgiving. It's nice to have a little break.
You know what I like? I like the
From Hank.
I like the Thanksgiving walk that you take before the meal. Like you go out in
With
the
any
morning,
relatives?
maybe go out with the relatives,
Like cousins?
No, not
Oh.
your cousins. No, I'm not talking about drugs,
Oh,
Big
okay.
Cat. I'm saying you can enjoy your family without having to do drugs with them. But you go out for a nice little walk around the neighborhood. Usually a nice little wind. It's a little chilly. You get a breeze going. Maybe get a cup of coffee on your walk. Come back and just have a good conversation without having to ingest any mind-altering substances.
It's also very funny because that walk, you go out for...
You're not even spending Thanksgiving with your family.
You're going to be a cutter.
Yeah, I'm spending it with the global family, Hank. I'm spending it with the Cutter royal family. Some might say that that's more important.
That's the most
because of the
important.
great
Some might say
job.
that's problematic.
No, who would say that? Liars and
You
and,
did off air.
and people who were falling for the fake news propaganda.
Didn't you say fuck them?
No,
Earlier?
no, I said fuck. They're wonderful.
Fuck, they're wonderful.
I said fuck. These guys really have their act together,
Um,
and we're all lucky to live in the same era as the emir and his father.
that walk is so funny because you basically say to everyone around you, your family, your friends, whatever, that you're going on the walk with, like, let's go out and take a walk so that we feel like we did something today, and then we can go back inside and eat 10,000 calories.
Yeah.
It's like let's do a 2-mile slow walk that will burn maybe 45 calories to then feel like we earned this meal.
Yeah, and you always have to say like, I got a little burn going today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was good. I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do Hot Seat Cool Throne, and then we'll get to Taylor Twellman, World Cup preview, then Swag Kelly, then we'll do some Sunday picks. Hot Seat Cool Throne is brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. Right now, you can enter for a chance to win Coors Light Chill Holiday Kit. Stay tuned for details on how to enter. Take a break from the holiday hustle with Coors Light. Mountains on the bottles and cans even turn blue when your beer is cold. Make time to chill this holiday season and reach for the beer that's made to chill. Go to CoorsLight.com/take for your chance to win an exclusive chill holiday kit complete with sweatsuit, beanie, socks, and gift cards. No purchase necessary. Ends 1/2/23 at 11:59 Central Time. Must be legal resident of the 50 U.S. states, D.C., 21 years age or older. Void where prohibited. See official rules at Be Live in Chill for entry instructions, odds, prizes, restrictions, etc. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Thank you to Coors Light, our favorite beer in the entire world. Hank.
My hot seat is EA Sports.
So disappointed.
It's not in the game. They are delaying the release of NCAA football until 2024.
Why?
I don't know if they gave a reason. I think it's just because they hate us and they want us to be unhappy.
I thought this was a joke. I thought Memes was fucking with me because he tweeted out like Big Cat when he sees this news, and it was one of his millions of memes. Why? Someone find out why.
I don't think it actually has to do with the game, but like organizing the rights with players and all this.
Well,
NFL
then
stuff.
fucking organize it. Hire some more people to organize it.
Yeah.
I want to play the game.
Can't somebody just make a bootleg version of the game? Just like make it without any of the, just do it without
Well, they do.
entering
Well,
any
they do
licensing
the-
degree.
They do
script shit.
Yeah, they do like wild stuff. If your console is hacked or something, you can do updated rosters and shit from the 2014 version.
Yeah,
It's
we got like
wild.
a USB that we had to,
Has
like,
them all.
Got
ingest
jailbreak?
current rosters.
It's crazy.
It was insane. Fields, logos, teams, players.
But I guess what I'm saying is, can't
That's a lot of
somebody-
work. The common man's not doing that.
So nobody can just like design the game on their own and then put it out for free?
They just need to send out an email, like an Elon email, to like every Division I college football player and be like, "Hey, everyone really wants this game. If you're not cool with it, you got to respond in the next 15 minutes."
Opt out.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like EA Sports isn't hardcore.
They're not hardcore. I'm so upset about this because when the initial game was announced that it was coming back was last summer. So it was like, this is going to take forever to get to 2023. We might not even be alive. 2024 is so long from now.
Yeah. Nuclear war.
You get stuck in Qatar.
Starts a nuclear war.
Starts a nuclear war. We got to drop the nukes.
Yep.
All right.
Feel free.
I will do my best to make sure that we nuke Qatar if they keep you.
Thank you. Go to the University of Utah and activate their nuclear reactor and then fire a cruise
That's
missile.
my promise to you.
Okay.
I'll do that. Hank.
What a guy. How many other co-hosts out there
Nuclear war.
like promise
I'll
to
match.
commit nuclear?
Who just you match?
Thank you, Hank.
There we
Thank
go,
you, Hank.
Hank. I'll double.
I promise to go to Qatar to try to get you out first.
That would make things
Yes,
way worse.
perfect.
Yeah,
no,
way
and then
worse.
we get you out, and then we nuke Qatar while Billy's still there.
Yeah,
He's like,
but
whoa, where are you guys?
A tactical nuke, just on Billy.
Yes, yeah.
I'd survive and turn into Godzilla.
I mean, you can't love someone more than willing to start nuclear war for them.
You can. It's like that's that old chick from Greece, the face that would launch 1,000 ships.
Yeah,
This is the podcast that would launch 1,000 cruise missiles.
yeah. This is the highest form of bro love.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had another hot seat that popped in my head before we started, but I didn't write it down. Then I forgot it. So hot seat me.
Maybe
Well,
lay
your
off the
brain's
weed.
on vacation mode
My
already.
cool throne. I'm corporate. Vacations are different. I'm not on that same.
No,
same
you get a
mindset.
mandatory 4 weeks a year.
No, we don't get any mandatory vacation. That's been my biggest gripe with this company forever.
That's your biggest gripe.
That we don't have mandatory vacation?
Well, yeah, they say you get unlimited vacation days, and then you take one vacation day and you get shamed on it for 12 years straight.
Guy starts one world war. Everyone's got a problem.
Listen, I shot one archduke, okay, and now everyone puts me in their history books.
But I'm not going to get into it. If you looked at other countries and how they do it, it's crazy.
Yeah,
What America
no,
does
no,
in our-
Europe-
in our
You send
corporations,
one
it's
telegram to Mexico, and next thing you know,
I'm still waiting for Hank to be like, we should be more like Greece and just like have a big report on it. All right, go ahead. Cool throne.
Greece is nice. My cool throne's the Bruins. They're the greatest team in hockey. I know he did that preview with Whitney. I don't think he even expected them to be as good as they are. 17-2. Patrice Bergeron scored his 1,000th point last night. I'm trying to work on a bet in the Barstool Sportsbook for the Bruins and Celtics to win their respective conferences. So be on the lookout for that.
okay. Are you at all concerned that in hockey sometimes you get out to a hot start
Nope.
like this and it's just not going to last?
Well, it would be impossible for them to keep this up.
Right.
Well, no, it wouldn't.
They would be the greatest team in hockey history by a wide margin.
That's a beta mentality. It would not be impossible. Just
Okay.
keep being awesome.
Yeah, that's why they're on my cool throne.
Aren't the Devils sick too?
Devils, I think, are a lot better than everyone thought they would be.
Yeah.
And I can tell that because Frank just hasn't been complaining about them.
Right. He's like silently taking them out of his complaint rants.
Yeah, he's like a carbon monoxide detector where like if he's quiet, that means everything's awesome.
Right. Okay. Hot seat, cool throne, PFT.
My hot seat is Lionel Messi in Argentina because Argentina just lost 2-1 against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia this
Never
morning.
happened.
Maybe the biggest defeat in the World Cup. Some are asking, is Messi a bust? Some are asking, is Messi the Chris Paul of soccer? I think it's a fair comparison at this point.
Yeah, so we have Taylor Twellman on. We taped it obviously before that game, so that was interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting plot twist. It was very bizarre because I woke up and I am a big Messi fan. I've staked my claim in the GOAT debate as being a Messi guy. I woke up and I looked on Twitter and it was just I was getting bombarded. And I've never had that happen at 7 a.m, where it's like it was a live event that people were just fucking hammering me about.
Awesome game too.
Yeah, and I
because
was like, what the fuck?
one of my new favorite things to look at is the expected goals, which is just a metric that makes no sense whatsoever. But you can look at it after the game's over and be like, we totally should have won that game.
It's the best for saying like, oh man, the over should have hit.
or like I can't believe we lost by 3 goals. We should have won by 1.
Right.
And in this one, it was I think the expected goals for Saudi Arabia was like 0.2, and for Argentina it was like 2.5. But somehow Saudi Arabia beat them 2-1. Probably the biggest upset in World Cup history, at least in the group stage. And I am a Messi fan insofar as if it's Messi or
Don't
Ronaldo.
leave us now.
No. I've always been
This is the
consistent on
toughest
this.
times. Always dark before dawn.
I've always said this: Messi over Ronaldo every single time. But my GOAT is Maradona because Maradona does everything Messi does, except he was shorter, fatter, and on cocaine.
Yeah.
So
that's
to
true.
me,
That's a compelling argument.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy for me.
Okay.
My cool throne is Jim Harbaugh, because Jim Harbaugh came up with a new acronym today because he's heard young people calling athletes dogs and saying, "I've got that dog in me."
Yep.
That sort of thing. So Harbaugh got to work on a spreadsheet, came up with an acronym for it, and he defined the term as being disciplined athlete with grit.
I defined the dog. Dog is a disciplined athlete with grit.
Oh.
And Ronnie Bell epitomizes that.
Love it.
Dog.
Dog.
It's a dog.
That's a dog.
That's a dog. It's Jim Harbaugh's version of a dog. I just love that Harbaugh hears whatever youngsters are saying. He's like, I'm going to figure out a way to turn this into a motivational poster.
I got sent a video, unnamed source, can't reveal, of Jim Harbaugh that I forgot to share with you, PFT. I'm not going to share with anyone else in this room.
Big Cat.
You got it as well. All right.
Probably from the same unnamed source.
Yeah. So we're not allowed to share, but it's just a video of Jim Harbaugh flexing for the camera for like 20 seconds straight. I love him so much.
He's jacked up right now.
He's so jacked up.
He's very vascular.
He's just like, look at this. Can you believe this? This 55-year-old guy. I'm gonna
Send it to the group.
I'm gonna no, because it can't.
It doesn't leave. Yeah.
It doesn't leave us.
I wanted to put it out there for the masses.
Instantly, but
Yeah.
couldn't do it. But either way, I'm jacked up for that Ohio State Michigan game. Jim Harbaugh, there's something about that guy. I just keep going back, being like, I fucking love this guy. He is just football through and through.
I'm looking forward to watching the game this weekend. I looked at the weather forecast. I think I'm going to have to bet on Ohio State, though.
Okay, well,
I'm
give
betting
me
on
that
the weather.
video back.
I'm betting on the weather.
Send me that video and delete it from your phone.
I already had it.
Delete it.
I'm just betting on the weather. It's going to be like 50 and rainy. That's not shitty enough for Michigan to win this game, I think.
And Michigan does have some injuries. Blake Corum, I think, was in a walking boot. We'll see. I think he's going to play. But either way, it's going to be – the game hasn't felt this big since probably 2006.
Yeah.
When it was one – I guess they did have the game where Ohio State won with that spot. They were both going to the college football playoff that year. But 11-0, 11-0, nothing better than that. Okay, my hot seat is myself because I'm in the middle of Feast Week. I love Feast Week so much. For everyone who is out there who's a big college basketball fan, Feast Week's the best week because you just get random tournaments in random locations. I was watching a game. Where's Mississippi State playing right now?
I believe Daytona.
Yeah, I watched that whole game last night. There's something about Feast Week where it's like, oh, it's 2:00. Let me bet on these two teams that I know nothing about and get my teeth kicked in. So I'm on a hot seat. It's basically a day-by-day thing. I was up till 2 a.m. watching Maui, which is my favorite tournament, which we got to go to some year.
Yeah, we should.
We should go do Thanksgiving as a podcast in Hawaii some year.
But not Hank, because Hank has to go on vacation that week.
Yes, that's true. But I'm going to say that right now.
Fort Myers.
You know what?
Oh, whoa.
Sip of my Diet Coke. Mike Francesa. No free ads. What?
You're on a Diet Coke kick.
I am. You've been shaming me about that.
This is my problem. I'm not shaming.
What were you saying,
I'm
Hank?
just
Are you
pointing out.
protesting what I was saying?
Are you noticing? Or are you shaming?
Doesn't count. I'm going to do this all the time.
17.
No, it doesn't count. This doesn't count. There's 99 in there. That officially does not count. What were you saying, Hank?
64.
64 is
Doesn't count.
So
on
wagon
fire.
doesn't count.
Even though it doesn't count. It's
You
on
guys
fire.
are gaslight enthusiasts.
Okay. I am on a Diet Coke. I like Diet Coke, but
Nothing wrong with that.
either way, I'm going to proclaim it right now. Within the next 5 years, this podcast is doing the Maui tournament.
Yeah, I'm in.
Hawaii for Thanksgiving. We'll get a big fucking pig with pineapple.
Sick.
Hula skirts.
I have to bring my whole
Spin
family. So I
fire.
gotta figure out how to get them on that plane, but that's fine. We're going.
It's gonna be like when, you know how Adam Sandler, once he turned like 40 years old, he just decided that he was gonna film every single movie in Hawaii with his friends just so that they could get paid to hang out there. That's what this podcast should turn into. What if we just moved to Hawaii?
What if I just make my kids like, I'm like, yeah, they're running the social account now,
Yeah,
and I'm paying them, so they have to come with us.
I like that. Nepotism. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, my cool throne is you, the listeners, because you probably are seeing what PFT and I are wearing right now, what Billy's wearing, what Jake's wearing, what Hank's wearing, what Max is wearing. All of this gear you see right now, 20% off
This could
on
be
Black
yours.
Friday. So we have so much new stuff. Billy, you want to take out of my bag? Get in my bag.
Oh,
Don't rip my bag.
Deep in that bag.
So we got, what was that? Oh, that's the Stella Blue ugly sweater. We got, pardon my take, hats with the Coors Light. We have some sick polos. That was Memes is wearing that polo, and he's a savage and didn't turn it back inside out. Pardon my take, sweatshirts, Roback.
I like the new Roback embroidered part of my take ones.
Yeah,
Right now, it's the best.
car sticks. Oh, what is that?
That's the pullover. They just folded it.
Oh, I want that. Give that
Cool.
to me. I want to wear that too.
Yeah, these
That's
things
what
are
you're
awesome.
wearing right now. Okay.
That's what I'm rocking.
Windbreaker.
It's a windbreaker. It's got the blue mountains on there.
It's great. All this stuff.
All this stuff. You know what? It's giving Riz.
But yeah, black.
God. No, that's good. Actually,
Hank,
that's
are
good.
you protesting?
No, that's funny. That's
You want me
funny.
to do-
No, that's funny.
Okay,
That's a
I'll
good
do it.
one.
Anytime you're a bad
Max,
boy,
did
I'm
you
just
get his
gonna
reaction
hit
to that one?
it. Anytime you say anything, get surly.
Anytime
with
I
us.
say anything, that's
No,
the
Hank's,
problem.
Hank's just jealous because Hank's
Doesn't
jealous
count.
because you're Rizless right now, Hank.
These windbreakers are awesome. Doesn't count.
17.
100.
Oh wow. Have we ever got 100 yet?
Yeah, we got it.
That's like when the green hits and
And there was
None of
a
these
fake
count.
69
None
because
of
Billy
these
stole
count.
the ball for a little bit.
Yeah,
I
that
earned
was
it.
cool of you, Billy. Not. All right, your hot seat, cool throne. So everyone, go to the Barstool store. Pardon my take. All of our new gear, 20% off on Black Friday. Billy.
My hot seat is Zach Wilson. They
Why?
Officially,
Are you-
yeah.
You mean Patrick Mahomes?
So on that take, I will say, if you took Zach Wilson and Patrick Mahomes and made them compete in a horse or pig-like game where they had to complete certain throws, probably not covered, they'd probably have a competitive game.
What, you are insane.
If
You-
Pa-
you're this
that's
is-
all I'm saying.
The take is getting worse
I know.
as you try to like
I know I'm sounding like
as you
a
try to
broken record.
as you try to smooth off the edges of this take, it's actually getting way worse because did you watch Zach Wilson's throws? He can't even hit the defenders in stride anymore. At least he was hitting dudes like right in their hands a couple weeks ago. Now it's like he's very inaccurate right now, Billy.
Yeah. So Coach Salah was an hour late to his meeting with the media, and players have been accidentally liking tweets that are critical, and he's officially came out and said that he is considering changes to the quarterback position.
No duh.
So yeah, but it was a hard line before. It's now changed. He is on the hot seat, actual hot seat.
Flacco, man. This is
But-
Flacco's team.
I know, but everyone's just been cherry picking bad stats. He's played one of the hardest schedules.
I don't think
he's
it's
5-2.
cherry
You really
picking.
don't have to cherry pick.
Okay,
he had
so I know.
44 net yards.
Moving on.
Did you see that? Did you see that one?
That's cherry
all
picked, I'm sorry.
22
Yes.
of Denzel
Yes.
Mims
Yes.
wide open in
Yes.
the end zone,
And he was scrambling.
and he was looking at him. He was looking at him.
I know. It was a lot.
Billy,
Mike-
I'm my sympathy for you because again, I've been in your shoes. The team is very good. The quarterback is not good.
This next stretch, I think he's either going to explode or he's not going to explode, and it's either going to be good or it's going to be very telling this Sunday against the Bears.
Now,
Yeah, no, he better light them up.
if he doesn't light them up, then
this could be a motivational tactic by Salah, just to be like, I'm not committing to you as a
Yeah.
starter. You better shape the fuck up this week, and then everyone earns their job this weekend.
That's a good point.
it was more the response in post game about letting the defense down. I think that's what lost the locker room. He better be putting his body on the line, earning his teammates' respect on Sunday. But we'll see. And my cool throne is the Netherlands head coach. Did you see that clip?
No.
He just invited his wife on camera in front of the media to his hotel room to have sex on camera.
Oh,
What'd he say?
wait, to have sex on camera?
Not on camera, but he just literally was like, "You come to my hotel room and we're gonna have sex." Just out of nowhere during a media conference.
I love that.
It was in Dutch.
There's not enough of that out in the media these days. Like, say what you want about Rex Ryan, but at least he was like publicly horny for his wife's feet.
Yeah.
You don't get enough wife guys just being like, I want to bang my wife now.
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar, remember that when he was like, I might get on top of my wife tonight.
yeah,
And drink a Coors Light.
Yep.
yes,
The
yes,
mountains are
What,
blue.
what a moment.
yes.
Thankful for Coors Light.
Okay, Jake, finish this off, and we'll go to Taylor Twellman.
My hot seat is having sources. We have a source issue with Lane Kiffin involving a potential move from Ole Miss to Auburn. John Sokoloff of WCBI reported that he would be moving to Auburn, and Lane Kiffin denied that. And then Lane Kiffin said, breaking news, John Sokoloff is plans to step down, and he got him back.
Yeah, I saw
he
that.
did the same thing he did, but for an anchor position instead of the head coach.
Except Lane Kiffin also like printed off a piece of paper and then took a picture of the piece of paper for some reason.
Yes.
And said like this. I guess it was supposed to be like a fax that just came through.
All I'm going to say is Lane Kiffin, the amount of fun he's having on Twitter right now, this would be a really mean way to leave Ole Miss.
I don't think he cares though. Like
I know.
I can
That's
see him
news to me,
absolutely
John.
leaving.
Nice sources.
I know.
With some interesting emojis.
Because he's really having fun with this. So
Yep.
if then he's just like, yeah, I'm actually leaving, that would suck.
So our friend T. Bob Bear, he is on the low man committee out of Baton Rouge. He put out a hypothetical. He said, if you're Texas A&M
Yeah.
and you scrounge together the money,
Yeah.
you should make Lane Kiffin turn your job down now.
Yeah.
And what is it, like $96 million?
$95 million.
$95 million. What's the price of oil like right now? Because that does make a difference for Texas A&M.
That's a fact.
Because their boosters, if oil is high, they're able to afford a much more substantial buyout.
Yep.
So if the price of oil goes up, then A&M could pay Jimbo Fisher $95 million to leave, which you have to be rooting for, right?
Yes. Yes. I think Jimbo is at the point, too, where he might take less money. Like, they might be able to go to the negotiating table and be like, how about 60? Dude?
$60 million? Yeah.
Like, you
I'd
don't
say
like
that's
it
fair.
here. Yeah, like, you don't like it here. We don't like you here. Let's just end this thing.
I'd say that's fair. That was a sad sight on Saturday.
Oh, my God.
UMass,
Oh, my God. Didn't even come close to covering.
nobody stayed in the stadium for the second half.
Nobody. It was cold, though.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. It was cold.
Very chilly.
It was cold. It's never been cold in a football game before. Okay, let's get to Taylor Twellman. For anyone who has
Quickly,
to work.
cool throne.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Cool throw. My bad.
Little time travel, but Philly fans, because Ben Simmons returns tonight.
Oh.
Yeah. No
Philly.
Embiid, though.
Max.
It's happening. It'll happen by the time this is out, so we can make our predictions.
Max.
What happens? The reception.
Max, thoughts?
I have a take. Ben Simmons has actually been kind of likable in this situation in the past couple days.
What?
Because he's not Kyrie?
He's been making jokes. He's been like, yeah, I like. Well, he basically just said he likes the passion of Philly fans, which is basically all I need to hear.
That's you guys
But-
are like a dog that just needs to be pet.
Yeah, no, that's very much the case. But I don't know. He's been making jokes that people have been asking him. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get crushed, and I'm ready for it, and it's gonna be funny. And he's like, that's Philly fans though. And I was like, you're actually saying the right things, which he's never done in his career. So but it sucks. Forced Embiid, Maxey, Harden, and Tobias Harris are all not playing, so it doesn't even.
Yeah.
But that is a good point because you would think,
Tobias Harris maybe. but-
you would think like give him credit for saying the right things, but he truly has never said the right thing.
Never, but which is why I'm giving him. It's like shocking because
Right.
he's saying all of the right things, and even Philly beat reporters are saying like, I am shocked with the way that he's handling this. I wish he was like this when he was in Philly.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like bad, and that's the other thing. It's not like he just had one good game, but he's having a horrible year, and
Yes.
he's still approaching it with like a good head on his shoulders, which is shocking.
It only took him like 2.5 years to figure out how to handle the situation.
I think I have an old take that like if Ben Simmons could ever learn how to shoot, he'd be a top 5 player in NBA history. That one sucks.
I still think that's.
Yeah, I
that's a
actually
good
kind of
take.
think
I
that's
still
true
think that's a
still
good take.
because it's a big if.
If you include also like layup and dunk
Yeah.
in the shooting.
Yeah. Everything. Like if he was if
he could score.
if he was an average shooter, he would be one of the best players in the NBA.
He's incredible. I saw him. He actually did drive to the basket. I think he dunked the other night. It was
Yeah,
shocking.
he had one good game.
It's
recently
weird.
like that.
It's still very strange to me watching Ben Simmons drive to the basket and then go up for a layup.
Yeah.
It's confusing. I'm like, why is he doing that? He's Ben Simmons.
It's also we need to mention more often that Ben Simmons, like to be an old guy take, like if you can't make the tournament, you're never going to be good in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like we should just start saying that again because I do like that old man take of like,
How's this
oh,
guy
you
going
can't-
number one?
You can't make the tournament.
Yeah.
Okay. Good hot seat, cool throwing, everyone.
Max, are you going to allow him to work on his free throws after the game?
If he makes the request ahead of time, then sure, yeah.
Yeah, if he goes through the proper
If
channels.
he goes through the proper channels.
Yes. All right, so if you have to work on Friday, I would stop the show right after Taylor Twellman and Chad Kelly because we're going to talk about Sunday's games, and then you can leave yourself a little bit of, pardon my take, for your Friday work, which will suck.
And well, also thank you for your service. If
Thank
you're
you for
working
your
on Friday,
service.
you're probably working in the food service and people are hungry, or you're working maybe like at a hospital,
or your boss
people
just
are
sucks.
sick, or your boss sucks, and you have our permission to quit.
Yes.
We also have a great PMTV coming out on the YouTube channel Friday, so there's some bonus content there as well.
And Black Friday.
And Black Friday.
Yeah. Subscribe to the Pardon My Take YouTube. Okay, PFT, you got an ad, and we'll go to Taylor Twellman talking World Cup preview.
Before we get to Taylor Twellman, awesome interview, by the way, coming up. He's brought to you by Chevy. We're starting to see pretenders and contenders emerging this NFL season. Top of your head, Jake, who's a pretender?
Argentina.
And yes, Argentina does look like pretenders right now. Who's a contender? Italy, always. Can't count out El Azzurri.
They'll easily get to the group stage.
Yeah, I mean, Chiesa, they're locked and loaded. Much like the World Cup and much like the NFL, Chevy is locked and loaded, and they are never a pretender. They're always a contender, the Chevy Silverado. Chevy Silverado shows up week in and week out with unstoppable grit and determination. Silverado is the ultimate tailgate flex with the available multi-flex tailgate and power outlet built right into the bed. And the first ever ZR2 is the ultimate off-road machine. From tailgates and stadium lots to off-road adventures, Chevy Silverado has you covered. Head over to Chevy.com to learn more about the Chevy Silverado. Check it out today. Take it for a test drive. Let the dealer know that Part of My Take sent you. They're going to give you $100 off probably. They're going to give you a full tank of gas. They are going to give you a cup of coffee, and they will send you on your way in the best truck that you've ever driven in your entire life. Chevy.com. Check out the all-new Chevy Silverado. And now, here's Taylor Twellman.
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. You can find him on ESPN. You can follow him on Twitter at Taylor Twellman. He is a former soccer pro, played on Team USA for the CONCACAF Cup, a lot of World Cup qualifying. He knows soccer in and out, and we thought no one better to have on for a little World Cup preview. We like to do this thing where we do our previews after the events start. We just did our NHL preview last week. We still haven't done our NBA preview. So we're a couple days late, but that's fine. Let's start though with what we watched, USA versus Wales. I'm counting this as a USA win because penalties should count as half of a goal. But tell us, the guy who actually knows what he's watching, what the hell happened and should we be discouraged?
It's debatable that I know what I'm talking about, but I will play the game. It should feel disappointing, and here's why. Because before you take the field, England beats Iran 6-2. So now all of a sudden, the tiebreaker, which it always is in World Cups, is goal differential. Now it means that now it's going to come down to how badly England, Wales, and the United States beat Iran. And so if you get 3 points against Wales, which after the first half, guys, they were fantastic. It was an A-plus performance. It was A-plus from the lineup situation and what they did. To then lose that 3 points and only to come away with a point, it feels like a loss. It should feel like a loss. And now it puts extra pressure on Black Friday against England and more importantly, against Iran in that final group stage game. So I get what you're talking about. And quite honestly, historically, your opinion is more factually based because anytime the United States has either got a point or 3 points in the opening game, they've advanced. I just think this is a different one now because of the wrinkle of England winning 6-2 before you took the field.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
It was tough watching that second half out there, especially considering how we stepped up. A lot of people in the first half we looked great, we looked dominant. A lot of people, I think yourself included, pointing at some substitutions that should have been made in the second half. I tend to agree. That's when you bring on Michael Bradley and he really dominates the midfield of the game and solidifies everything. Why didn't they bring him on?
I don't think Michael Bradley came into this game, although maybe we could have used him. I will say this, dude. 2 yellow cards early on. Serginho Dest, Weston McKennie. Both players were injury question marks coming into it. And so that's why at halftime I said, wait a minute. You're up a goal. Wales is going to flip the script on you. Now you're going to have to be either more defensive or in an odd way, even though you're winning, more attacking because of Wales having to chase the game. This is not the kind of game Wales wanted. Wales wanted to get the first goal, and then they could sit in. Because they went down a goal, they had to now change. That's the most disappointing part of the game, is that Wales changed and Greg Berhalter in the United States didn't. I would have probably brought on Giovanni Reyna. The fact he didn't play is questionable, but I even would have thought about bringing him on either at halftime or the 60th minute, because this is the kind of game when it's opened up. He's got the quality to play in that spot. That's where I think the criticism, rightfully so, is going to be had for Greg Berhalter, because I don't think he made any moves instead of sitting on the fence.
Right. So I was joking about Michael Bradley. He's
I know
like
you were.
the Taylor Martinez of Nebraska. He played for the United States national team for.
He name searches too, just so you know.
He does
on
after
Twitter.
after
Yes,
every game.
Every game.
I think he blocked me actually.
I think so too, because I just tweeted like, "Hey, Michael Bradley, you're reading this right now. You stink." In the last like 4 or 5 years ago, and then he blocked me.
I loved Michael Bradley. I always thought he was a great solid player for us in like defensive midfield. But I agree, Gio Reyna. Why was he not even starting today? Some people would say that he should be part of the starting 11.
Yeah, it's a great question, honestly, because that's where I think the first time the United States men's national team have real quality in the debate of the 11, if not 14, 15 players. And mind you, your listeners are not going to know this just because it changed during COVID. But remember, it used to be 3 subs. It's now 5 guys. And that leaves you a little bit more wiggle room to kind of change it, to kind of roll the dice a little bit. So to even not have Giovanni Reyna in the 5 subs is interesting. And listen, Greg Berhalter was looking at Brendan Aronson and Giovanni Reyna and saying, we're going to save them for England, and we're going to use them in the second half if we need them. But the moment I go up a goal against Wales, and I go back to my initial point to your first question, guys, is that England just won 6-2. I've got 3 points in the bag. I have to get 3 points. That's where Giovanni Reyna and Brendan Aronson come in for me, because Wales are going to chase the game. They're older, they're less athletic, and now I bring on younger, fresher legs, great in open field, great in open space. That's where I think criticism, rightfully so, should be had of Greg Berhalter, because I don't think he played into the hands of the vulnerabilities of where Wales was defensively.
Okay, so I don't want to get too woke, but I'm just going to ask this question. Yeah. Let's say U.S. does lose to England on Friday and Wales beats Iran. Is there any world that Wales and England basically are like, well, let's tie this game because these guys who pretend that they, know soccer, and everyone's been talking about how this is the generation, if we tie this game, they're out no matter what. Am I crazy? Am I crazy to even throw that out there?
No,
God
you're
damn
not
it.
crazy to think
God
that
damn
through.
it.
And that is why the final group stage games in all of World Cups now are played at the same time, because historically that actually happened. And if I'm not mistaken, it was West Germany versus someone else. And so and I don't blame the teams for thinking that, right? The difference is, though, is that you now have goal differential have such an impact because England beat the absolute hell out of Iran today, that now it doesn't leave you enough room to sabotage that, because a point may not be enough to get you through, because now you may need to have goals scored, and you've got to now make up for the goal differential. If England won today 2-1 or 2-0, absolutely that's part of the equation, because a point gets you through. But depending on what Wales does against Iran, I'm not sure they're going to have the luxury to do that. England, more than likely, if they beat the United States, that third final group stage game, they're going to rest players because they know they're going to get through. It's where the other teams are going to be. But it's a real conversation. So you're not out of your mind to bring it up. I just think with these circumstances, with the result of that England-Iran game, I think it changes it.
But what you're saying is it could absolutely happen the reverse way, where England could rest players and be like, hey, we're good.
Wales could win.
Yeah, Wales could win. So,
Absolutely,
all right. So
which is why you didn't want it in the final. You'd never really want to rely on 3 points in the final group stage game. You're okay relying on a point, but you're not fine in having to get 3 points and then goal differential and all that because of what you just said. You hit the nail on the head.
So are we calling Friday's game against England a must draw for the United States?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Because the last thing you want to do is lose that game, right? And honestly, you guys can look at it too right now. But before I came on with you, Vegas doesn't have England as huge favorites in this, even after winning 6-2, which tells you that the American player now versus years past they're regularly playing against these guys in the Premier League. They're playing against them in Champions League. And so even Gareth Southgate in his post-match press conference, they won 6-2, and he was already like, I don't like this U.S. team. They can make us uncomfortable. So the U.S., they get a point against England. Yes, they're in the driver's seat of getting out of the group. But if they lose that, dear Lord, that final game is going to be something else.
So we tied England back in 2010. And
yes, we did.
Let's not underestimate the ability of England to defeat themselves in heartbreaking fashion and to let in the worst goal of all time. That could happen again to them. Like, ask any English soccer fan. This tends to occur during World Cup. So it's not like out of the realm of possibility to tie, but it sounds like what it's going to come down to is just which team beats the hell out of Iran worse, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, in saying that, I could see Wales actually lay an egg against Iran, and then this becomes a very, very, very tricky situation. I could see Iran. I know this sounds crazy because you guys are talking to me. They lost 6-2. They beat Uruguay in their final tune-up game before the World Cup. Uruguay is one of the 5 or 6 teams that are listed as potential favorites, right? So it would not surprise me at all if Wales and Iran draw, and then you're looking at a group going, wow, Wales have 2 points, Iran has 1, and then the U.S., depending on what they have. And again, it comes to that final group stage game, which, guys, 1998 is still thought of in Iran as the biggest win of their history. That was a group stage game they had no business winning or being a part of because they had already been knocked out of the group, and they beat the United States, who then ended up finishing the 98 World Cup as the worst team in the World Cup. Just think of that. Yeah. So the geopolitical backing to that game, that will be the biggest game in Iran's history. It doesn't matter what they do against Wales. If they come out and leave the World Cup, but hey, they can tip their cap and say, we beat the United States, that makes their World Cup. That's why Greg Berhalter looked, I would say, disappointed, because he now knows, guess what? We're going to have to get something out of that game.
Yeah, no, that is a factor that I definitely wasn't thinking about, but now I am. A more general question, and this might be a dumb question. You did mention that the U.S. has closed the gap in terms of talent. Guys are now playing in Europe. A lot of our guys are playing in the high level, top 5 leagues in Europe. What is the difference between those best teams in the U.S. at this point? Because I've always thought, when I watch, and I don't know soccer very well, but for me, it's always been the first touch. If you watch the MLS versus you watch EPL, guys, they'll pass it across the field and they'll have the ball on a string right on their foot. What is it now, though? What's the difference? What's that last gap that we need to bridge to be at that level of some of these unbelievable teams?
Dude, it's a great question. It's honestly the question that still drives every person in this sport and in this country, right? You're trying to bridge the gap because everything else America does and all the other sports, if they're not 1A, they're 1B. And so that's been the most difficult part. It's interesting when you bring up MLS because I think it's less about first touch. I know what you're talking about, the technical aspect. I think the speed of thought is something that is just a lot different at the highest of levels. Even Greg Berhalter and other MLS managers have brought that up when they go to the international stage. Now, what's interesting is this World Cup, MLS is the 5th most represented league in the world in this World Cup, which tells you about the growth of the game. And yet, there's still the gap you're talking about. I would say this. England in the Premier League is playing at such a speed, both between the ears and at the feet, that other leagues even struggle to compete with that because the bottom tier teams in England can beat you on any given day. In Germany, Bayern Munich's going to win their 11th straight title. Nobody competes with Bayern Munich. Now, all the other teams beat each other up, so you could talk about parity there, but you follow where I'm going. England is the best league in the world because from the first team to the last place team, they're playing at a speed. They've got the biggest difference, I would say, to answer your question is they don't have one Christian Pulisic and one Tyler Adams. They all have 2 or 3.
Right.
Every top team in the world, Dan, to answer your question, is that Brazil could have 3 teams in this World Cup. And I'd argue all 3 would get out of the group stage. So that's how deep they are in talent. The United States has finally got talent playing at the highest levels. Now the difference is, can you have 36 to 45 guys doing that? And then it bridges the gap, because if one player goes down, the gap isn't as big, if that makes any sense.
So to put it in American terms, you're basically talking about Alabama. How Alabama's backups could beat most teams in college football. And if you have Alabama playing Cincinnati in a college football playoff, it's about the fact that, like, the guys that are coming in off the bench are better than the guys that are starting for Cincinnati.
I mean, the scout team for Georgia football team on the defensive side right now could probably start for any ACC team. And I'm not, I'm being honest. Like, it's not an SEC bias. It's just the fact. Brazil, France, Argentina, to a certain extent, Germany maybe. Guys, those guys have 3 or 4 players deep at a World Cup level at each position. And that's ultimately how you keep pushing the meter higher and higher. And that's when you become arguably a favorite in these big tournaments.
Yeah. So it is kind of all doom and gloom right now, but we did get a point against Wales, which
we did.
It's better than we got a result, as they say. And with this U.S. team, I do feel like they're so young that this feels like more of a preparation World Cup for them. They need to get battle tested a little bit. And really 4 years from now, that's when, like, they'll all be in their primes growing up together. So I do feel like even if we don't advance past the group stage, obviously that could be looked at as a failure. But at the same time, like, we're so young that this never felt like it was going to be our World Cup to really do any damage in to begin with. But all that said, how do we end up beating or tying England on Friday? What are the keys to that game? How do we pull it off?
2 things. First off, very educated take by you. It's also why, and this is the most important thing I'm going to say to you guys, because for your listeners to understand what 4 years from now means. The last thing you want to do is bomb out of this World Cup, because it makes more pressure on you in now being the host. So that's the positive side. You got a point against Wales. You're still in this World Cup, right? So this group is young, naive, and inexperienced. Well, guess what? You need to get experience. And I think it is invaluable to this team if they get any kind of experience of positive feedback in this World Cup, because then they're in their prime in 26, and now they're going to be in the driver's seat saying, we could actually do something of real magnitude. Very educated take by you. The second thing, to answer your question about England, is you have to be committed on how you want to play. So if you want to counterattack, be committed in counterattacking in your defensive structure. If you want to punch England in the face and try to outpossess them and get after them a little bit, sure, you've got the quality to do that. I think that's a little bit more risky, but it doesn't matter. Be committed. Don't be in between.
Yeah. And they're in between today a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Don't go back and forth in trying to figure out a way to play England. If you are committed and you frustrate England, they don't have, especially if Harry Maguire plays, but I don't think he will because he got a concussion in the game today. But even if he does, there's some weak links within this English squad that you can expose. However, there's so much quality in an open game, in a game where all of a sudden they've got a ton of the ball, they got a ton of space, they're dictating the tempo of the game. That's not a game you want to go in and play against the Harry Kanes and Sakas of the world. I don't want to play that game, right? And I don't think Greg Berhalter wants to. If they're committed in the way they want to play, they can frustrate them. And the other aspect is Timothy Weah is a great example. They've got players that England would love to have. England was desperate to get Yunus Musa. They recruited him. They didn't get him. These are players the U.S. have that even the English look across and they're like, wait a minute, it's not me on the other side, guys. They're not looking across, seeing me going, well, this is whatever. This is a cup of tea. We've got this in the bag. It's Giovanni Reyna. It's Yunus Musa. It's Tyler Adams. It's Brendan Aronson. It's Josh Sargent. It's players that England respects. So now all of a sudden you've got that game a little bit where you're going to get their best. So you got to be ready for it. I think it's important for them to be very pragmatic how they approach the game. Don't get into a wide open game, especially in first 30 to 45 minutes, and see where you are at halftime and then adjust with substitutions and maybe tactics, which is something you didn't do against Wales. But they've got a shot to surprise some people, but they don't want to get into that open game, in my opinion.
Now, Taylor, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're kind of sounding like a Berhalter out guy.
No, I am a one that is very, very, what's this? What's the word I'm looking for? It's a good question. I try to take the red, white, and blue hat off analyzing games because I think the viewer and the listener, honestly, guys, is more educated than when I played. They've seen more high quality games. They understand what real analysis is. So if I'm not going to if I can't and by the way, Greg Berhalter was a roommate of mine with the national team. I played with him. If I can't criticize him, then I shouldn't be doing my job.
Yeah.
I think Greg Berhalter has done a good job on some levels, but I've also been very critical of him on other levels. And he's very young in his managerial career, and I think you've seen some of that inexperience, if that answers your question.
So, talking about the whole World Cup, getting off U.S. for a second, give us the winner, your pick to be the winner, and maybe like a dark horse, because, the betting markets are still open for futures and everything.
This is Brazil's World Cup to lose, boys.
Yeah?
It's Brazil's to lose. Yep.
I mean, now this might be a stupid question, but the way I always see Brazil is if we're going to do another analysis like of college football, Brazil is like a Big 12 offense that can score a million points, but sometimes they play a little soft. Is that fair?
Fair, except with this group.
Okay. Tell me.
Brazil, see, what you're getting at, and I know what you're getting at, is the fact that Neymar dives 1,000 times a game, right? So the
brutal.
American viewer, we watch Brazil and we're like, why are they all rolling over the field? However, Neymar knows this is his World Cup. He's in his prime. He's arguably playing better than Messi and anyone else in the world right now. And Brazil now has a manager that has pushed the right buttons to say, these are my special players. These are my players that will clean it up, will make the games. They're smarter. They're just smarter with where they are. They have more talent than anyone. There's more professional players in the world than from Brazil. They just manufacture players. It's their pastime. It's what they do. However, they've never found the balance to say, we've got our quality, but we've also got our defenders. We've got in football terms, we've got our showcase wide receiver, quarterback, running back, and skills players, but our offensive line, our defensive line, our free safeties, and our linebackers may be our strongest suit. I think their defenders outside are the weakest link, and yet I say that, and I look at the roster, and I'm like, well, any other team in this World Cup would take those guys as their fullbacks. It's Brazil's to lose because it's played in hot weather. They're used to it. But more importantly, I just think they're more balanced than they ever have. But I don't think your analysis is that far off. Soft is always a weird word. For us three on this, we know what soft means. The world listener would say, that's not soft. That's just a little dramatic. And us three would go, well, yeah, that's what we said.
Sometimes he looks like he stepped on a landmine.
Yeah,
when
he
somebody
just rolls
accidentally
and rolls
touches
and
him.
rolls and rolls.
The part that gets me is like the aftershock after they hit the ground, and then they bounce up again and flip over like a fish. That's always the funny. And I've noticed that the women, they don't flop like the men do.
No,
I don't know what the difference is, but guys, they have no shame. They'll just go out and just pretend that they got sniped.
I will never, ever, ever apologize for what that is because honestly, it drives me nuts. You guys know me on Twitter enough, though. I can't stand it when they say it's just a soccer thing. When the Sunday night football game I watched last night between the Chiefs and the Chargers, I've never seen more flop from offensive linemen. Like, flopping's now become part of the NFL, the NBA, and the NFL to get flags. However, our sport just makes it look so much worse. Like, it's like, do you need to roll 10 times and bounce up and then roll again and then the cold spray in the water? Like, I can't defend it. I can't.
Yeah.
There was an interesting tweet that SportsCenter put out earlier this week. I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at it, but
I did. All right, buddy.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. What if American sports stars played on the U.S. men's national team? So they had a picture of, it was a great Photoshop, Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, Patrick Kane, Odell Beckham, Steph Curry, Saquon Barkley, Patrick Mahomes, Austin Matthews, Kevin Durant, Bam Adebayo, and LeBron James.
You got to put Giannis in goal, though.
He was probably going to play for Greece.
No, I know that was a joke.
Oh, okay, yeah, good point. That's fair. Which one of these guys do you think would be the absolute worst soccer player? Because it's tough. I would say maybe Austin Matthews, like a hockey player, or Mike Trout.
Mike Trout would be baseball guys would have a tough time because you got to run more than like 50 feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
occasionally.
like
Mike Trout's a hell of a baseball player. He's one of the top 5, 10 we've ever seen. I get all of that, fine. But dude, you got to run. And I played baseball, right? So like, it's not foul pole to foul pole and then have a Gatorade and a bag of sunflower seeds. Like, I think that that tweet was just so disrespectful. And it was, listen, they deleted it. I know the people that put it out there, but like, we're really basically saying, like, what if Usain Bolt played soccer? Like, is it really, like, what are we really talking about?
Nice.
You know what it was?
We just got a natural, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
Can you run that back?
What are we doing here, guys? It was, you know what it was? And I'll say that I do like to troll soccer. I'll admit that, because I saw the tweet and I sent it to one of my best friends who's a huge soccer fan, and he like was rolled his eyes, because I will do that hypothetical with him just to fuck with him. But I understand, like, that's a hypothetical from 15 years ago. I think people now understand, like, I understand the skill level and the fact that, like, the reason why a lot of these countries are so good at soccer is they have their kids playing when they're 3 years old. And that, like, that type of skill is not something that just because you're an athlete you can do. So I actually laughed at it, because I was like, what year are we in right now? Like, we have evolved.
Exactly. And that goes back to my point 5 minutes ago. Like, the viewers they're more knowledgeable now, right?
Yeah.
And like, and if we did everything the American way, the Spain teams that were the greatest teams ever that won everything, they didn't have a single player over 5'10". I say that tongue in cheek, but we think bigger, faster, stronger means, oh, great, you're going to be the best soccer player. No way.
Right.
That's not how this works. So that's where you just looked at it. You're like, no, but I enjoyed playing the game. But which one of those hypothetical athletes would have been put on the soccer field, looked around after 2 minutes and said, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Probably Mike Trout.
Yeah, Mike Trout, for sure.
Mike Trout would have been like, I am out.
Well, also, if he was in the World Cup, he'd be like, is this the playoffs? What the hell? I've never been here.
No, he'd be like, if you really want to make sure you don't get out of the group stage, put Mike Trout on your team.
Yeah, like, hey, the Eagles have a Sunday night football game against the Packers. Why am I in Qatar?
I've got a great question for you here. You're going to love this one. If Messi doesn't win a World Cup, is it safe to say that he is the biggest all-time bust?
Ooh, that's such a good one. No,
no,
it's a real good one, because that's what we do here in the United States. And quite honestly, I love being part of this.
Overrated. Messi's overrated if he doesn't individually win a World Cup for Argentina this year.
I don't think so.
Are you a Messi or Ronaldo guy?
I'm a Messi fan, mainly because I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Yes.
Right? So Ronaldo, who's done unbelievable things, but it's all based on athleticism, right? And he is one of the best athletes I've ever seen. But I played against Messi in 2007, and I described this to everybody. You know, when it's a late summer afternoon, the sun's going down, and there's water bugs, and you're like that thing's going on top of the water in the lake, and you can't see it, and you literally can't. Messi's the smallest human being on the soccer field, and you can't catch him. And we're talking about the best players in the world, and they leave the field after playing Messi, and they're looking around going, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
He's an alien. No one's ever seen anything like that. Is he a failure? No, I'd argue Argentina's a failure, because you were just given the greatest player in the history of the sport, and you couldn't find a competent enough team to deliver the World Cup around them. But not one player can deliver a World Cup. And everyone listening to this will say Pelé and Maradona and all that. No. You guys you don't know what that Brazilian teams were like with Pelé on that. Argentina in 2014 got to a World Cup final mainly because of Messi.
Yeah.
This year, if they get to a World Cup final, it's their best opportunity to win, because they're more balanced. But I'm not one to sit on the fence. He's not a bust if he doesn't win.
I think that's fair.
He also, like, the way another tongue-in-cheek thing we do, we always find, like, if you're trying to get into any sport, just figure out what the GOAT debate is, and you can just you can just mainline into it. But watching, and Ronaldo's obviously incredible, but just watching Messi, it's like beautiful. Whereas Ronaldo, it's more like power and strength and sheer force of will.
Are you guys Steph Curry fans?
Yeah, it's kind of Steph Curry and LeBron. I mean, it is a little bit like that, where it's like just something about Messi, and when he's, kicking, when he's scoring goals from like 30 feet away, and he's just making passes, and it's something else.
We're going to get back to Taylor Twellman in a second, but before we do, he's brought to you by Hooters. Our favorite place to go watch any sport, especially soccer during the World Cup, is Hooters. They seriously do have the best wings, a great selection of beer, and great hospitality and alpha males. And who doesn't love the iconic Hooters girls? They're always so friendly, and you really don't get that anywhere else. What goes best with soccer, with the World Cup? It's wings. Wings go with soccer. Hooters wings are the best in the game, seriously. The Hooters girls make it so much better. But if you don't feel like getting off your couch, you can also order on Hooters.com. Get your wings delivered. Hooters.com. Check out Hooters. Nothing like beers with the boys. Nothing like hot wings, cold beer at Hooters. And now, here's more Taylor Twellman.
Argentina is another one that's a favorite. Give us a team that you have your eye on that's maybe not one of the favorites, that you're like, hey, this team has the horses that if they get some favorable matchups, they could shock the world.
So it all depends on how you can consider a dark horse, right? Because I look at anything plus 1,000 or more as a dark horse. I don't know how you guys look at your gambling lines and whatnot, particularly in soccer, right? I would say the Dutch are very interesting. Netherlands is interesting. They've got a real good understanding with their older manager and Louis van Gaal, and they're at a real good number, right? They were before the tournament started. That's the kind of dark horse I look at. The way the brackets have laid out, guys, this is a chalk type of tournament. It just is. There's not going to be a ton of the way the groups played out. There's not going to be a ton of, I think, surprises in the sense when you get to the quarterfinal. I do think our neighbors above us in Canada could really surprise some people, because I think Belgium is hanging on to a generation of player that they're not playing at a good enough level of where they were. So Canada could surprise teams. Are they going to surprise teams to get to the semifinal? That would be as good as Leicester City winning the Premier League, quite honestly. But I look at those future bets, Dan, and I would say Netherlands is the one, because the bets were that the odds were good enough where you would have got a real payday if you took them before the tournament started. That would be so-called the dark horse. But look at the history of the World Cup, guys. How many different countries have won? That answers the question. There's very few surprising teams that get all the way to the end and win this thing.
Yeah, it is true. When you look at it, it is like, oh shit. This is basically like college football, where it's like
it's the BCS. It's literally the same BCS team before they got to the college playoff.
So yeah, before the tournament, I got Netherlands at plus 1,100.
Yeah,
and Germany, I was surprised to see they were plus 1,000. So do they have a chance?
They do. This is the worst, I would say, collection of center backs and defenders they've had in a long, long time. I think that's going to be their Achilles heel. If they win it, they're going to be the most exciting team. And to double down on your bet, I would take total goals for Germany in the over, because the only way they're going to win this thing is outscoring teams 3-1, 3-2, 4-1, 4-2. You know what I'm saying? So no matter how you slice it, I think they're going to have to outscore teams. I actually like the total goals bet for Germany more than them winning it. But they do have a shot because they're Germany. And quite honestly, Germany, for whatever reason, when big tournaments come around, they very rarely shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, and what about France? Because France, I think it's a storyline that every year the defending champs struggle to defend their crown. So France obviously won in 2018. They've had some injuries. Are they – because it felt like there's something about – I just love the talk about golden generations.
Yes.
When Belgium had their golden generation, and it was like, oh, man, look, all these guys the same age. And France had a little of that with the 2018. I would assume they're still very, very good, but are we thinking they're like it's just going to be the same story that every team that's defending their crown struggles?
Yes, they've got so many injuries, my man. They've got so many injuries. However, they're arguably a deeper team than Brazil. The only difference is the French are going to French. They get in their way. If one thing goes wrong, they hate each other. There's in-house fighting. Everything's got to be perfect for the French to operate and to play at a high level. They've got more depth than anyone in this present time. And you're talking to me on November 21st in 2022 around the world. They are probably more deep than Brazil. But the Brazilians like playing with each other. The Brazilians get along. The French literally have players go to court over sex tapes regarding teammates. Like, you see what I'm getting at? They are going to get after each other. They've got a ton of injuries. They know for a fact their manager's leaving after this World Cup. I'd be stunned. I'd be stunned if they don't shoot themselves in the foot. However, they've got enough talent to override some of their personality things.
They're just a bad vibes team.
They're very bad vibes. They're like calling witch doctors on each other. There's a whole thing going on. Like, right when you think that the French can't get any more French during the World Cup, they find a way to one-up themselves. I remember back, it was like 2006, their manager then, he was starting and sitting players based on their astrology charts before games. I think he was like sitting Trezeguet because his moon wasn't in the right sector or whatever it was. Who's the manager this time that you think actually makes like a difference in a positive way? Who's the best manager of any of these teams in the World Cup this year?
That's an interesting question. The way you put that question has me thinking there's 5 subs, and I was very critical of Greg Berhalter early on, right? And you have this way to manage it. Honestly, I think the managers that manage off the field are actually more impactful, because in this tournament, you guys have tweeted this because I follow both you on Twitter. There's so many games within this short congestion of schedule, from club teams to then having a World Cup in the wintertime. I think the best managers are going to be the ones that manage energy, manage enthusiasm, manage where you guys are just with how to keep the group together. And so naturally, I go back to Didier Deschamps with France. He may have his most important job may be, it doesn't matter what team he puts on the field. Are they not fighting? Like, that may be a win for the French. I think Tite with Brazil, I think he's already got his finger on the pulse. That's going to be easy. Louis van Gaal, as I talked about. I think Diego Alonso is an interesting one for Uruguay, because 3 days before their opening game, he comes out and says, no, we're here to win it. I mean, that's a little ballsy if you ask me, right? Like, I get it. No one's there to not win it. But like, he came out right away and said, no, we're not here to mess around. Those are the managers that I think are going to have the biggest impact. But I actually think it's more off the field than it is on the field, because this is such a odd time to have a World Cup and the players are mentally and physically exhausted.
Yeah, that's a good answer. So speaking about that, we know it's hot. How much does that actually like zap you, and how much is it not even in the game, but the turnaround, because these games are 4 days in between? Like, is it truly you don't feel right for a few days? Because we talk to football players all the time. You talk to a running back, like, oh yeah, your knees are creaky, you can barely walk on Monday. What is that like for a soccer player?
It's a great question, because, and I'm going to ask you guys a question to answer that. Have you ever been to Houston in the summer?
Yeah,
it sucks.
Terrible.
Yeah.
It just removed summer from there too.
Now try and run 7 miles in the middle of that heat, representing your country. It's just you can't prep yourself. You can do the most under your control to try to prepare for that moment. When I did the U.S.-Portugal game in Manaus in 2014 in Brazil, the humidity, if it was allowed, was over 100%. It was at 8 o'clock at night, and the temperature was 98, and it felt like 118, and you got to run a marathon. You got to run 8 miles in that at a high speed, which is identical to basically running a 26-mile marathon at a real generous pace. Guys, it's physically taxing. It's not impossible, but it also means you can't have one player play every minute of every game, right? And so that's the way I would describe it. And then you couple that after a club season where they've been playing a game every 3 days. Honestly, I don't know how to answer your question. I don't know how to quantify how difficult it is, because the sports scientists around the world that are talking about it say this is something that's unprecedented. They've never seen it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is nuts to think about that heat. I mean, you said 7 miles and I already was checked out because I couldn't run that in the ideal conditions. So that part I'm already out on. In terms of the end of games of World Cup, this is my gripe. I do actually enjoy watching soccer. I've learned, like, if you asked me 10 years ago, I'd be like, stupid sport. The more I've learned about it, the more I've understood how the game's played, and also just understanding like what the Champions League has made it a lot more enjoyable. The one part that I cannot stand, and I will never stand, is the last 15 minutes wasting time. when you bring on the subs, when you sit in the corner, when you roll around on the ground, when you walk to a free kick, when you walk to a throw-in. You're a soccer guy through and through. Are you just as frustrated as I am, or is it like people will say, "Oh, well, it's no different than a team running the ball in the fourth quarter"? It's like, no, but you're still like, you still have to get first downs. You still have to, like, there's still a game against the clock. I just cannot stand the last 15 minutes. It was, you know what it was? It was the France-Croatia final. I like France. The last 20 minutes they didn't even play the game. So. Tell me, am I being stupid, or is it just part of the sport? I got to understand.
No, you're not being stupid at all. Would I use that as? Would that be my biggest reason to never watch the sport? No, I think of course not. Fans, you know this better than anyone. The SEC college football fan will always use those crutches for what it is. Yet you've spent the last 10 years watching it, and you guys now like it, and you understand it more, and it still bothers you. By the way, it bothers me. I don't understand it. It's different than running the ball. You're still playing within the rules of the game.
Right.
Now, the soccer player in me says it's in the rules. Now, I think there's a real quick way to fix this and get rid of it in 2 seconds. Imagine getting a red card the moment this happens. Just imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine FIFA and the officials all of a sudden saying, you know what? We're actually done with this. Subs are part of the game, right? So I can't change subs, and you want to change subs, fine. But the game management, the waiting to take a goal kick, the tying the shoes on all of that. What if they just started to cut down on it? And maybe you start with yellow cards in major tournaments, because the second and third yellow, you're now suspended. It would change in 2 seconds. The problem is FIFA doesn't want to take their hands out of you-know-what and actually do something, because the truth of the matter is that means they actually have to be the governing body by which they are and actually tell other countries what to do. The other aspect to this is that it is difficult on how to view a game one way and tell another country how to view a game another. And here's what I mean by that. If us three did a podcast right now with a referee from England and a referee from Argentina, guys, we would get 180 degrees difference of answers of what's more important, how the game should be viewed. And that's why I think it gets frustrating to people like yourself, because it's not universally looked at the same way, when majority of all of us can look at American gridiron football and look at it the same way and officiate it arguably the same way. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's very difficult to try to find a middle ground, because the South American and the Western European, honestly, they look at the game as if it's apples to oranges, and it's still the same 90-minute game.
Right.
Yeah, it's asking a lot of a referee to immediately diagnose what's a fake injury and what's real. Sometimes you can do it. Sometimes it's very obvious to do. But other times, I mean, it's tough for them to say, okay, that's a clear embellishment or that's a clear flop.
It's fair.
That's a little bit easier. But when you see a guy rolling around in pain, it's tough. It takes some balls for the referee to be like, you're faking it, red card.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Yeah, it does, which is probably why, the more I think about it, which is probably why I'm okay with the yellow to start it off to see if it goes anywhere. I just think there's a lot of time wasting now in the sport where I think it can be controlled and managed differently. But you're right. If you give a red card, that's too harsh. But you know what I'm trying to say.
I get it. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more accountability from the governing body and the official in the moment, and say, wait a minute, knock it off with the nonsense. And all it takes, honestly, guys, is one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is one, because then the message is sent going, whoa, what was that? And then FIFA backs up the official and says, we're done with that, the shenanigans that you're trying to get away with. But this is also an organization that gave the World Cup to Qatar for basically $100 million in cash.
Oh, we don't know about that. Qatar is a great country with wonderful people.
He's going tomorrow, so please don't say anything bad.
No, I actually forgot I was going for a second. But the job that the Emir has done over there, and his father, to present the world's game.
Wonderful people.
It's just an incredible job that they've done moving their country into the 21st century. And, with style and with grace.
Yeah.
So you can't say enough good things about those guys over there. I'm very happy with what they've done.
I got nothing for you.
Yeah, he's got it. Listen, when he comes back, we can say what we want to say, but right now,
absolutely. When he comes back, we will 100% have that conversation. I'm not backing that one up, dude.
We will discuss it.
PFT needs to come home.
I will come home. It's coming home.
Yeah.
From your perspective, who are the greatest U.S. soccer players of all time? Mount Rushmore. Emergency Mount Rushmore. 4 of them.
Wow. Good one. Naturally, Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey.
Freddie Adu.
Yeah, Freddie Adu's not on there.
Freddie Adu for sure.
Okay, all right.
And that's I'm not putting myself on there, right? Because you guys don't know me that well. But naturally, if it doesn't involve me, I don't really give a shit.
You can put yourself on there. So Taylor Twellman,
all right, cool.
Mount
so
Rushmore.
I'm on there. Actually, no. I'm the bus driver to get you to Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
For U.S. Soccer. So that's perfect. I would say Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey. There's got to be a goalie on there.
Tim
because
Howard,
we've had so many great goalies. That's an interesting one. I'm going to be recent. I'm going to give a little bit of a recent bias, even though Casey Keller and Brad Friedel were and Tony Miola. I'll say Tim Howard.
Yeah.
Okay. And then can I leave the 4th one blank and tell you in about 5-6 years? Because I think it's coming from this generation.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good take. It's like to be determined, but you know that it's.
I do.
You know it's out there somewhere.
I think Christian Pulisic's going to have something to say. I think Giovanni Reyna could outlast and outdo his father, which, by the way, would be an amazing story in itself because Claudio Reyna was one of the best players this country's ever produced. I would leave the 4th one open because I think we're embarking on a new era where it's like, wait a minute, this is something special.
Okay, I like that. All right, so Taylor, I have one last question. This has been awesome. We're gonna maybe need you back for the World Cup final.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roback question: RHOBACK.com. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, hoodies, polos, joggers, everything at Roback.com. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. This is kind of a difficult question, but I've listened to you. I followed you for a very long time. I've heard you on some interviews, and I always thought that you had like a great outlook. So for people who don't know, you were part of the U.S. team, but you were left off the World Cup roster. When that happened, I mean, that's something that most people, I would count myself in this, would be bitter for life. Like, how did that all break down, and how are you able to look at it and not be just angry all the time about it?
That's a great, man. That's now you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've heard you talk about it, and I've always just respected your take on everything.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's the easiest way to look at it. I'm more like you, where I really wanted it to be there. My grandfather passed away 48 hours after that decision.
Jesus.
And my family and my grandfather said at the time, first off, I was MVP of the league. I am technically an answer to the trivia question is who is the leading goal scorer for a calendar year and not go to the World Cup.
Wow.
It was me in 2006. I didn't go to the World Cup and still led the U.S. men's national team in goals scored. That gives me solace that guess what? I did the best I could.
Yeah.
I did the most I could. So it was his decision and he didn't want to bring me. So there it is. The toughest part about the entire thing was this. 30 players were named to a roster. 23 went. The 7 players that were left on the substitutes bench, for lack of a better word, or the
practice
replacements.
Squad. Yeah.
Right? 6 of the 7 got a phone call or an email.
Oh.
I didn't. I had to watch it with my family live, and Stuart Scott asked Bruce Arena, the first question he asked was MLS MVP Taylor Twellman's not on the roster, and Bruce Arena didn't answer the question. And so that is when in the moment I said, you know what? Whoa, wait a minute. I had 4 players from that team. The moment they saw the news, call me and basically say, why am I going and you're not? I'm telling you all of that to give you background on that. Told me I did the best I could.
Yeah.
I literally did the best I could, because if I wasn't good enough, if I didn't deliver, if I didn't deserve it, none of my teammates would have called me and given me that answer.
Yeah.
They would have called me, and you guys know this, they would have given me a different answer, been like, oh man, I'm sorry. They literally called pissed off. They called like, what the heck? What? The assistant coach, he's passed away now. He literally called my dad and apologized. So I give that background to your listeners because in life, when you know you gave it 100%, there really are no regrets. If there's any inkling of, oh, I should have done this or I did this, that's where bitterness kind of takes over. And when my grandfather passed away, literally 48 hours, and he's the one that won a World Series with the Yankees and played in Major League Baseball for 11 years, my entire mom's side of the family is celebrating this man's life. And I am on ESPN the day before the funeral playing an MLS game where the 30,000 people at Gillette Stadium had a huge sign, "Why not Taylor?" And I was like, this isn't about me. This is a celebration of my family. So honestly, Dan, like, it put it in perspective for me. I'm not going to lie and look into this camera and tell you guys that I still don't think about it.
Yeah.
Because my biggest regret is not wearing the red, white, and blue and honestly running through the wall and getting one of my 7 concussions playing with the U.S. in a World Cup that ended my career. I think about that all the time. I watched the game today thinking, did I really not go? On the other hand, it happens. Dude, shit happens. And the best part that I can say is I can look in the camera, look you, and look everyone in the mirror and say, guess what? I did it. I did the best I could. I scored a ton of goals. And the manager that given day was like, you know what? I don't want him to be part of the team. I've got to find a way to live with that. And fortunately enough, I've got enough grace to understand it, but I ain't going to lie to you guys. You know me well enough. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And we've got to move on. And I have actually, in a weird way, I have, even though I just rambled for 10 minutes about the background, but I think the listeners would appreciate that.
It was a great answer, and it's why I asked the question, because I knew like your perspective on it, and it's just a great lesson for people to listen to, because there's a lot of people who play woe is me and always become the victim, and it's like that's just not you can't.
Well, let me
think
ask you
like
guys.
that.
You guys do this in life. We got to hear the word no more.
Yeah.
We've got to fail more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you don't hear no, you're not pushing hard enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just feel like in my failures, I've learned way more about myself. And I tell everyone this, like everyone says adversity builds character. Shit. Adversity reveals character. Because if you say adversity builds character, guess what that means? All of us started at ground zero and we've got no character.
Yeah.
Like miss me with that. We've all got character. It's when it hits the fan, you got to be like, who am I? Who am I going to be the guy? I'll talk about it with people, but I don't go to bed at night with the bitter part of my body because, like I just said to you, it happens. I'm unfortunately one of those guys. I'm going to own my story. I'm going to tell that story because I think it gives perspective to some people that are struggling. But I feel like our generations now, guys, we hear no or we hear constructive criticism and everybody's all out of whack and like, oh my God, this is wrong. You're wrong. And the teacher's wrong and the coach is wrong. It's like, are they?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
It's great. And I'll say it for you. Fuck Bruce Arena. I'll just say that for you.
Yep.
Yeah. You'll say it too, right?
Fuck Bruce Arena.
Yeah. Fuck Bruce Arena.
He's a great college coach.
Yeah, but fuck Bruce
also,
Arena.
2002.
Oh, come on, guys. He's had a hell of a career.
No, he's a bum. He's a crumb bum.
Oliver Kahn ate his lunch in 2002.
He's a crumb bum, and but no, I really do appreciate you telling that because it is a great message, and it's something that like when I listen to you on ESPN or I follow you on Twitter, like knowing the backstory, it's like this guy's not just talking out of his ass. He played it. He went through adversity. He did all these things. Like it just adds a lot more flavor to your analysis.
Did it feel good in 2006 a little bit when we didn't get a single win?
Oh man, that's no. It actually, and I'm telling you, no. I've
even a little
never
bit.
told anyone this. I don't know if I watched the games.
Oh,
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I don't know if I watched them. I may have been in the room. I may have been with my teammates at the New England Revolution. I'm not totally sure I watched that game. I think I put myself in such a space that I wasn't present. And when we didn't get out of the group, we struggled to score goals. I honestly could not taste food. I couldn't feel anything. It made it worse to me because I know, and I don't care what anyone tries to tell me, I would have added something to that group.
Yeah.
I would have done something to that group, even being on the field or running through a wall or doing something to energize the group, to give them something. Because in that moment, I was on the verge of going to England. I was on the verge of doing guys, people don't know this. Kicker magazine in Germany listed 10 players to break out the World Cup. I was number 9. I didn't go.
That's crazy. Holy
Just
shit.
Right? So, like, but then you look around the world. There was a great goal scorer for Bayern Munich named Roy Mackay that played for the Dutch. He got left off the World Cup team. Jaden Sand, like, look at the people that got left off the World Cup teams this year. Landon Donovan in 2014 felt the same thing. I don't know if I watched the games in 06 to go back to your question. I just don't know if I really watched them. I don't know if I did.
You probably also didn't watch them because soccer is super boring and terrible to watch.
So boring. And who wants to watch that sport? Someone was diving and rolling all over.
That would be funny if you were just like, fuck this, I'm watching baseball, which is like way more boring, but whatever.
I got one last question for you, and we'll put it in like hockey terms, because whenever we start the playoffs in hockey, it's always like which goaltender is going to stand on his head. So which goalkeeper – I know Ochoa is playing for Mexico, and he's got he's like well established as being one of the GOATs. But he's also old. Question. So which goalkeeper is the one that's like most likely to make their team punch above their pay grade?
That is such a good question, because honestly, they can single-handedly change. They can change it. And so it's really honestly, I haven't even thought about it because, one, I'm a center forward and I hate goalies. Two, more importantly, you don't really think of it in the terms that you just did. And yet in a knockout style tournament, it is very similar to the Stanley Cup, where a goalie stands on his head and that goaltender can single-handedly take you in. I mean, look at the New York Rangers last year, quite honestly.
Yep.
Wow, that's a real good one. I would say put it this way. I'm going to answer your question because I know a lot of your listeners are going to think on the betting and the gambling side, fantasy side, what it may be. In the way Germany is set up, I think Manuel Neuer may have to have his best World Cup or best knockout style tournament he's ever had in his career. And he's had an unbelievable career already. But I think this one, he may have to be at his best if Germany want to win it.
Okay.
And so that's the one I look at, because naturally I think of like Jordan Pickford, I think of Hugo Lloris, I think of Thibaut Courtois, and then even Allison. I think of all of them, but I think Neuer may have to stand on his head the most, because I'm most nervous about Germany's defensive, I think, fragilities, for lack of a better word. And so I would say Neuer, of all of them, may have to be at his best, which sounds so weird considering he's already won a World Cup. But I think this one, he may need to be better than he was in 14.
All right. I just always go back to that 2002 team that the U.S. had, when Oliver Kahn just single-handedly, basically,
Yes, he did.
we were gonna make it to the semifinals.
Well, hold on. If there was VAR back then, Germany would have lost that game.
Yep, that's true, because Ballack had the handball on the goal line, and
because Torsten Frings had the handball, and Ballack, who, by the way, every time I see him, I remind him of this. He's arguing, no, if VAR was there, that's a goal. That's a penalty and a red card.
Yep, and one of our best, well, he was like an attacking fullback at that time, was named Big Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Santa. Yeah, he was great.
Yep, I know. Yep, that's awesome. Let's go. You guys want to go through when my dog died too, or what?
Taylor, thank you so much. We definitely have to have you back on for the World Cup final. We appreciate you joining us. It's been an awesome interview, man. And everyone go follow him on Twitter and see him on ESPN breaking down the World Cup.
Big fan of you guys, but more importantly, I love the fact that you guys embraced this sport, and it makes you guys even more compelling to listen to, because you're real and you're honest, and I appreciate that. So be good.
We were just fucking with you this whole interview. So.
I know you guys hate it.
Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone.
We actually didn't record it at all. This is
you didn't record it, so now your credibility won't be hurt.
Yeah, we just want the information. So yeah,
we're just trying to keep you off the air so there's less soccer being discussed elsewhere.
Thanks, Taylor.
I hope to talk to you after the end of the World Cup, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'll be back. I'll definitely be back from my whirlwind vacation to sunny Qatar.
Yeah.
Taylor Twellman was brought to you by Visible. Coming together as a family to watch the game sets you up to bond. Coming together to be on the same wireless family plan sets you up for family plan drama. With Visible's one-line wireless plan, the data is unlimited and it's all yours. So you can stream all the holiday games or movies that you want from almost anywhere. Leave the family plan drama and get a one-line wireless plan with Visible. It's just $30 a month, taxes and fees included. Start saving with Visible's one-line wireless plan. Here's a special Black Friday offer. You can switch today at Visible.com and get up to $300 in gift card when you buy a select device. Don't wait. This offer ends 11/29. Port in from an eligible carrier, new activation, and completion of 3 service payments required. Additional terms apply for data management practices. Learn more at Visible.com. Check it out today. And now, here's Swag Kelly.
Okay, it's time for one question with the quarterback, and we welcome on a champion, the most recent champion that could be crowned. It is Chad Kelly, Swag Kelly from the Toronto Argonauts. They just won the Grey Cup on Sunday night. Chad Kelly came in off the bench, led them to a game-winning drive, all-time moment, incredible game. One question with the quarterback. Thank you for coming on, Chad. Let's start with this. How many beers are you able to drink out of the Grey Cup trophy?
How many can we fit? There's enough for at least like 4 or 5 for sure. For sure.
I can't ask a follow-up question, but that sucks because I was.
So this is how one question goes.
That's a good answer.
There's no follow-up.
I phrased it wrong.
Swag, big fan. PFT comments are part of my take. How many quarterbacks in the NFL right now do you think that you could start over?
50%.
Ooh.
I was going to say higher, but that you're a modest guy.
50%?
That's what it is.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're saying something?
You go.
I just think this is what I think. Obviously, there's a lot of off the field stuff, right? We all know about it. It's all been publicized. You know, you stick a camera in a kid's face at age 8 years old and give him his own day. You know, that's predominantly what's going to happen is that the light's going to shine a little brighter when it's good or bad, right? But I think people mistaken my on the field capabilities of thinking clearly, right? Because they see that I do some dumb things off the field. So I think that with me saying 50%, I feel like I know the game a lot more than a lot of people because I started at such a young age and that's all I knew. In order to, make it in life, I thought it was just to play in the NFL, really not even play in college. It was to play for the Buffalo Bills or someone, that was the main focus my whole life.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say, should I just list? Should I just start listing? Because that's not a question, right? If I started listing quarterbacks and you just say stop,
we can list teams.
No, well, let's just say, all right, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson.
Wait, pause after Aaron Rodgers.
Baller. Yeah,
okay,
those guys are
Russell
baller.
Wilson. These aren't questions, by the way. Russell Wilson.
Derek Carr.
Carr. Oh. Okay, there we go. We have our answer. All right. There we go. I like that.
This is the thing. All right. I watched all their games. He's only thrown one big dig, right? One big end. That's what we call it, right? You clear it out, you fill the dig behind it, right? If you can only do that one time in 6-7 games, I don't know how you're supposed to say you're an NFL quarterback right now.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray.
How you going to put in a guy in a contract and say, hey, you got to watch this amount of film? I don't get it.
Yeah.
They would never do that to your contract, Swag.
Nope. Facts. Champion. All right, Billy, go ahead.
Hey, Chad, what's up? Thanks for coming on.
Hey, I owe you a jersey. I owe all you guys a jersey. I have 4 or 5 sitting at home.
Hell yeah.
We'll put it up on the wall.
I got you.
I rocked a Chad Kelly jersey all through college at Darty's. It's pretty awesome.
And he also was wearing your jersey during the Grey Cup final on Sunday. I'll attest to that. I was sitting right next to him, watching every play.
Chad, what was the biggest hurdle when adapting to CFL football from the American game? Because I was watching it. It's pretty complicated. What was the hardest part as a quarterback adapting to that new style?
So y'all remember when Sam Darnold said he was seeing ghosts against the Patriots? What was it, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
On that Monday, was it Monday night or Sunday night? You know what they were playing? They were playing cover 0, right? And he goes, man, I'm seeing ghosts. I'm seeing like there's an extra guy out there. Yeah, because they're blitzing, right? They're blitzing the shit out of you. It's all cover 0. It's man-to-man everywhere across the board. You got to get the ball out to your hot as fast as you can or, take an extra 2-3 steps back there and let it go down the field. That's really the biggest thing in the CFL. You see so much cover 0, right? where there's 12 guys obviously on the field because there's one more. But I'm saying everybody is blitzing and it's man-to-man. And now these other teams, you're running 10 yards past the line of scrimmage before the ball snap, and that's full speed. But the DBs are taught to sit flat-footed at about like 8 yards. So, I think that's the biggest adjustment to myself is just seeing cover zero so much. Like the game that I started 3 weeks ago, they ran it 19 times out of 57 plays. That's a ton. You do not see that normally. So, when I got out there the other day, they ran cover zero against me. I threw the quick shallow, and yeah, we had a punt, but that was what I was taught to do. So then when we go down to the next drive, when we scored, they played cover because they're like, all right, he already knows the protections. He knows where his hot is. We're good. So, just take an extra step, take off and run.
Love it. Yeah, I saw that big run. It was sick. You got you it was like a 15, 20-yard run. Just putting your foot in the ground and just being like, fuck it, I got this. And it was awesome.
This is not a question, but it sounds like Chad Kelly has a photographic memory.
Yeah, I'd say so. Sean McVay light.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
People are saying.
Sounds like he's got tremendous recall.
Yeah, people are saying it. Okay, Jake.
Hey, Chad, Jake Marsh, part of my Take podcast.
Yo.
What is an Argonaut?
It is a Greek goddess from a long time ago, 1873, though. Can you believe this is how it started, man? It started on the water over here, beautiful, on Lake Ontario. And so it was a rowing club, but they were like, man, we need to do something fun during the summertime. So guys just started playing football and rugby, essentially. And obviously there's rugby-ish rules where, you can take off and run 15 yards past the line of scrimmage, punt it, and then whoever just punted it or is behind the ball, you can go and pick it up and score.
I love it.
It's great.
That's a great history lesson.
The CFL has some cool rules.
I'm a Swag Kelly guy right now. We got to have you. We were saying it before we started, and this is not a question. You train in New Jersey, so you're going to come in for a full interview. You're coming in for the full Swag Kelly, untapped acoustic set.
We might just do like 2 hours.
Yeah, so be ready. Bring in like bring in like a Nutri-Grain bar or something. Hank, your question.
What's up, Chad? Henry Lockwood, part of my Take, Barstool Sports.
We can't all do this. It's Jake's thing.
I stole it from Jake by mistake today.
Yeah.
I should have
I'm just trying to
Okay, all right.
give him some context on who I am.
Hank's the guy who never gets the lottery ball machine.
Anyway, Chad, I'm just curious, what's the number one song in the Chad Kelly music playlist right now? What have you been bumping the most recently?
Man, NBA Youngboy, Pop Out. NBA Youngboy, Hot Boy. What
was going
actually before the game though? I was on Black Youngster.
Okay.
Love that.
And that was like some serious, I'm not gonna lie, that's some gangster music right there, straight from Memphis.
I like it.
I was on some demon time to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, I love it.
Fuck yes. Demon time to win the Grey Cup. Max, so this is the last question from us, and then you get a question.
I just want to know how many beers you personally drank out of the cup.
That's a great follow-up question.
Out of the cup, I think only like 2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But you have to have at least a couple. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey, so let me tell y'all this. I didn't even get to celebrate with the team for 15, 20 minutes after the game. You want to know why? Because they wanted to drug test me.
What?
Like PEDs?
Yes. I played 10 snaps and they drug tested me.
That's a reputation call. That's
not
bullshit.
random. That's not random.
That's
Guys.
not. No. Swag. That is not random.
I told the guy that was testing me. I said, I'm gonna tweet about this. He's like, oh man, don't do that. Don't do that.
What do you mean you were going to tweet about it? Like while he was holding your dick, you were going to tweet?
This ain't random, baby. This ain't random.
All right, so Swag, your question to us.
I don't have any, man. Y'all are just funny. I watch y'all all the time. The boys love you, and it's always love, man. I know back in the day, we were like, do we like these guys? Do we not? Nah, we like you guys. So it's all good.
We listen.
I appreciate y'all.
We bust balls. We might say some shit, but it is all love. And I really do want you to come into studio and let's do the whole interview because it would be. I think people would really enjoy it, and in person would be great. And congrats again, man. Awesome achievement.
I appreciate you guys, man. No, y'all are fun to listen to.
Yeah, you won't find any bigger Swag Kelly fans than the guys in this room right now.
That's
we will be your biggest cheerleaders. So yeah, look forward to.
Hey, how many jerseys do I need to send up there?
If you want to send
actually just say, really send one that we can frame. Like that would be cool. We'll put it up. We'll put it up on the wall.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Billy wants to wear one too.
Yeah, all right, so maybe send two.
Billy one.
Send two. Billy
all
will
right.
wear one, and we'll put one up on the wall, and it'll be sick.
Say no more.
Okay, awesome.
Love
well,
it.
thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
Congrats.
I appreciate you guys, man.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Okay, let's do some Week 12 preview. Week 12 will obviously, if you just tuned into this because you have to work, we'll know how Thursday went. Week 12 slate, not the best.
Yeah.
There's a couple good games.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a really good slate on paper.
Yeah.
If you
pretend
went
the
into
Rams are good.
If you went into a coma some point over the summer and just woke up right now, you'd be like, "Damn, this NFL Sunday kicks ass."
Yeah, like Rams, Chiefs, Packers, Eagles.
Yeah, Packers,
oh my
Eagles.
God.
This is awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be
Raiders,
insane.
Seahawks.
Yeah, Bucks, Browns. Browns are going to be good this year.
Yep.
You're right. So let's just pretend that this entire slate, we're doing this in August, and it's a fucking loaded slate.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll do our 4 picks, talk about every game, then send everyone on their way to Thanksgiving. Hank, favorite.
Whoa.
Favorite, Hank.
My favorite. Sorry. Cowboys.
So we're gonna go with Sunday.
Got it.
Doesn't count.
We're gonna go with Sunday. We just said Thanksgiving. Remember?
I mean, you deserve this one. 88.
88
88?
degrees. My favorite is Miami Dolphins -13 against the Houston Texans.
Okay.
Texans are basically a college football team. Could Alabama beat the Texans? Well, I guess not Alabama. Could Georgia beat the Texans?
Yeah. Could TCU beat the Texans?
Yes.
I think so, too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely
Not
TCU.
actually, but yes. Okay. Dolphins, like, it's always... when you have a bye this late in the season, I forget that you exist. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot the Dolphins are one of the very good teams in the NFL right
It's
now.
kind of like a double bye because
Yeah.
they get to play the Texans as well.
I also think Mike McDaniels is I feel like he cooks in the bye week. Like an offensive-minded,
Yeah.
schemy guy.
Yeah.
When you have an extra week to just scheme.
He's been thinking of some shit.
Yeah.
Just marinating on it for a
Yeah.
while. We need to, as a podcast, just make a collective decision to always call him Mike McDaniels and always call the other guy Josh McDaniel.
I like that.
Does that work?
The Texans might be the rarest case ever for a 1-8-1 team. They kind of have a look-ahead spot. It's very hard to do, but a 1-8-1 team with a look-ahead spot, they do play the Browns and Deshaun Watson next week.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
it's almost impossible to have a look-ahead spot.
That's
as a
probably the
1-8-1.
only way that it
the
can
only
work.
way.
Yeah.
So if you wanna throw that into your handicap, a look-ahead spot.
All right, so what's going to happen is the Texans are going to find a way to win this game outright.
Yeah, right.
That's what, after all that we've put into this, because
Yes.
everything says that the Texans are completely giving up and that the Dolphins are going to come out there and put 50 on them.
Yes. I do not know how they're going to guard the Dolphins. Okay, Max, your favorite.
Jets -4.5. Fields is banged up, and if
Bears.
Fields is banged up, and if he doesn't play, that offense could be horrendous against a good Jets defense.
I think it's Trevor Siemian if he doesn't play.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, yikes. We're not built to pass protect for a immobile quarterback.
What if they just have him run the Justin Fields offense?
If this, I mean, I'd like to just see.
He would die.
Just watching him be like, oh, Trevor Siemian's loose. Oh, that's another 5-yard loss. But yeah, if Justin Fields doesn't play, this game is going to be horrendous for the Bears.
Yeah.
Horrendous.
And for America.
Yeah, the Jets defense is already elite. To go against Trevor Siemian would be an absolute laugher.
Yep.
Okay, PFT, your favorite.
Okay, my favorite is the Washington Commanders. Usually I don't crap where I eat, but -4.5. We got Chase Young coming back. Logan Thomas is going to feast on the subpar linebackers from the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh,
probably
that's
going to have
mean.
Probably
Flip
going to have
that.
2 kick returns for touchdowns.
Oh,
I think
no.
our special teams is going to be locked and loaded, extra special. But Logan Thomas probably at least 2 touchdowns. Special teams at least 2 touchdowns. Parlay that and just eat money. You're just going to be eating money all weekend. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I like that pick as well. My favorite. speaking of like losing track of teams during the bye later on in the season, I do feel like Tom Brady's bye and he's going to come back and they're going to rattle off some wins and everyone's going to be like, watch out for Tom Brady. Like the NFC's wide open. Don't forget about Tom Brady. I think it starts with the Browns -3.5. I wish it was -3, not 3.5, but I still think the Bucs are just a better team than the Browns. And I don't know, like the Bucs defense will be able to shut down the Browns. So it's essentially if the same as the whole season for the Bucs. If they can have competent offense, they should win this game by double digits.
You are still addicted to betting on the Bucs.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
that's 100%.
That's what's going on right now.
I mean, I've made some money back the last couple of weeks. They've done me well. They covered against the Rams. They covered against the Seahawks. They're going to cover against the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Brady's dealing with a lot of off the field issues.
Well, he has all season.
No, but even more now. He's getting sued.
Well, no, I know that happened a few weeks ago. Like I think he has so much shit off the field that I think that the 60 minutes that he's between the white lines actually is a respite for him.
He lives for this right now.
Right. Like this is the only time that he can't have anyone text him that he's getting sued for another thing. Giselle texts him being like, hey, my kung fu instructor just choke slammed me again. Like he can't have any of that happen. He's completely on his own for those 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So this is probably his first Thanksgiving where they have to figure out what's going on with the family.
Well,
that's gonna be tough for him.
Yeah, that's true. Shit,
I'm just saying. There. I'm not saying I'm not trying to poke fun at Tom Brady. I'm saying like that's a shitty situation.
That is no,
right
that
now.
Sucks.
Yeah.
That absolutely sucks. Billy, your favorite?
Seahawks by 3.5.
Oh, you didn't go with the Jets.
So basically,
Against the Raiders.
against the Raiders. Last season, I ended up in last place because I was taking the Jets all the time. I'm just going to stay away from the Jets just because I don't want to bowl 1,000 times.
Starting now.
Starting
now.
week 11. Starting week 12.
Week 12. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Smart.
Okay. All right. So you're.
I know you know what? Fucking Jets.
All right.
Okay,
There we
yeah,
go.
That's my Billy.
Listen,
And-
you'll get great line value if Trevor Siemian plays.
Yeah, I'm getting Jets, and that's also my over.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just fucking. I'm going in with it.
Nice.
I like it, Billy. Yeah. Listen. I don't want you to clip your own wings. Okay.
Yeah.
That's for us to do.
That was the least amount of resistance we could have possibly given
No.
for you to switch your mind.
Zach Wilson,
PFT just said, "Oh, week 12,
39
Fuck
and a
it.
half over. Over. He's putting up like 7 touchdowns. Because if he doesn't, we're done.
Yeah.
7 touchdowns.
What does his
Okay.
stat line have to be for you to be back in?
250 yards,
3 touchdowns, I'd say.
3 touchdowns.
No,
yeah,
the honest answer, Billy is going to be totally back in if he throws for 200 yards and no interceptions.
Or not even 200 yards. If he throws 100 yards, but one of them is a Patrick Mahomes-like throw.
Yeah,
If
off
you-
platform.
Yeah.
If he throws 3 touchdowns, he can have 1 interception. But
Okay.
over 250 yards.
As a treat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Seahawks Raiders. I like that pick, Billy, just because the Raiders, like, they won, they're feeling good. They're not good. They're not good. And it's in Seattle. Seattle off the bye. They had a pretty disappointing game against the Bucs in Germany. Get themselves right. I like this. It might be in the can't lose parlay.
I like that.
You know what's crazy?
I've won 4 in a row, Billy. 4 in a row can't lose parlays. That's a good thing. Oh, but you took the Jets.
I'm going to go back.
Okay.
Well, you know what's crazy? If Billy wants to watch Zach Wilson or Joe Flacco, he can use the Game Time app. Tickets to get in are just $64.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. So maybe not a premier game. All right. So
Yeah.
check out the Game Time app, exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. What's your favorite?
I am taking the Ravens -4 at the Jaguars. This is a sketchy line, and I'm taking the trap.
Okay.
Okay, you're falling for it.
Falling for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm nervous about this game.
Yeah.
I think the Ravens. I feel like the Jaguars. Again, another team off a bye. You'll get the best Jaguars effort. If that might not mean they can cover though.
Yeah, so the thing about the Ravens is they go up 10 points against every team that they play. This, to me, screams like backdoor at the very end. Jaguars do something weird, score a touchdown, completely meaningless score. But I understand your logic because everything about this game does, like, you look at it, Ravens, Jaguars, 4 points, you feel like the Ravens win this by 10. But I get the logic.
Okay, Hank.
That's a draw. That's another draw. Hope you guys are taking the draws in the World Cup. Very profitable.
Year 10, boys. Year 10.
Okay.
Falcons.
All right.
Plus 4.5
Wow.
Okay.
against the Commanders.
You know,
Right,
Chase Young's
head-to-head.
coming back.
You know
But
Will
you said
Compton's
yourself.
coming back.
I agree with your take. He does look badass on the sideline. You lose that.
He's a great cheerleader on the sideline.
You lose that little punch on the sideline.
That's true. All right, whatever, Hank. That's fine. I expected this.
Okay.
It's not you. It's Will.
It is Will. You got to ride with the boys. Go ahead, Max.
Does year 10 mean nothing to you?
No, I love it. I'm very excited.
Means a lot.
I'm excited for Will.
It means a lot.
Sounds like you're a little jealous.
No, me and Big Cat helped get him on this roster.
We were on the text thread being like,
we've been
Coach Smith, you have to do this.
We've been his biggest proponents.
Yeah. Go ahead, Max. Your favorite underdog.
I'm taking the Browns plus 3.5. I don't know why, but I'm taking the Browns.
Because I took the Bucks. That's fine. Just say it.
I thought about
Just
the Browns
say it,
too.
you jerk. Just say it.
I don't know. I feel like the Bucks have looked all right recently, and I think that they stink. And the Browns also stink. But 3.5 at home.
It's got to be weird energy though for the Browns, being like next week is Deshaun Watson week.
Right, but on that same token, I think that Jacoby Brissett is pumped, knowing like this is finally the end. I can empty the tank. Whatever is in Jacoby Brissett's
I was gonna say, do you want
emptied.
Jacoby Brissett trying to empty the tank? That sounds dangerous.
I think sometimes you do. By the way, I think Jacoby Brissett's getting like bigger as the season goes on.
I do too.
He's huge now.
He's probably like, well, I'm working out every Sunday, so I gotta make up for this calorie deficit.
Yeah, true.
And just eat carbs all week. Okay, your favorite underdog, PFT.
I'm going Jags +4 at home against the Ravens. I just think it's gonna be backdoor.
Yeah.
It feels like a weird spot for the Jaguars, and there's no real reason why I like them against the Ravens. Just I think that the Ravens, like I said, they'll get up by 10 points. Jaguars score a late touchdown, and Ravens win by 3.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Titans, +1.5. Personal revenge for the playoff game they lost to the Bengals last year. Jamar Chase still not back. Joe Mixon may be out, right? Do we get a word on how bad Joe Mixon is hurt?
It's concussion. I feel like it's a protocol thing.
Yeah, so he might be out. The Titans are just, they're underdogs at home. No one ever respects them, myself included. I'm ready to just go into a fist fight with Mike Vrabel as my coach. Your favorite underdog, Billy.
My favorite underdog are the Titans by 1.5 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Just like them.
Okay.
I think that's a game they can win.
Okay, let's go, Billy. Let's ride.
I'm riding with you guys. 1.5.
Wow,
All right.
all of
Full
us
squad.
on it.
Yeah.
All of us on it.
Except for
I will
Hank.
say, I feel like group picks have done okay this year. I'll have to dig up the numbers, but this isn't the first time.
Yeah. I feel like we're so bad that
Yeah.
it's shocking if anything is good. If any deep numbers are good, that's like we should just cling on to it and be like, holy shit, how did we do this? All right, before you do your favorite over, Hank, Barstool Bites, Pardon My Cheesesteak is delivery and pickup only restaurant brand bringing you craveable cheesesteaks and loaded fries. Pardon My Cheesesteak is now available hundreds of select locations nationwide. 6-inch, 12-inch Chipotle cheesesteaks, my personal favorite. Buffalo chicken. Get lunch, dinner, or late night delivery when you with 7 days a week with Pardon My Cheesesteak. Go to pardonmycheesesteak.com to learn more and order now on DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, or Grubhub. Henry.
Ravens, Jaguars over
Okay.
44.
Ooh, any reasoning why?
2 good, competent quarterbacks means a lot of offense in my mind.
Trevor Lawrence, competent.
Absolutely competent.
Okay.
Absolutely capable. If the Jaguars scored 30 points, would you blink?
I think you just nailed it. I wouldn't call him competent.
Maybe. I might blink.
I wouldn't call him competent. I would call him capable.
Yes.
Capable. He is capable of anything.
You would not be surprised if it was a 34-31 game.
I would blink. I would blink a few times. Not like the guy from The Gift that's blinking, but I would like a moderate amount of surprise.
He is competent of being capable.
For sure.
I think is the perfect way to put it.
Or capable of being competent.
Capable of being competent.
competent.
And the Ravens, even when they're up, they blow leads in the fourth quarter. Like no over is safe, no under is safe with the Ravens.
Okay, go ahead, Max.
Chargers Cardinals over.
Okay. These Chargers.
47.5.
I fall in and out of love with the Chargers on a bi-weekly basis.
Yeah.
Like right after the games, I get that post-game clarity, and I hate them. And then later on in the week, I'm like, I
Herbert.
can't wait to see the Chargers again this weekend.
Did you see
It's gonna be fireworks?
Our good friend Emmanuel Acho was so close to getting the take correct. I love whenever a talking head is right around the take and he can't nail it.
Yeah.
He was like, Justin Herbert is a social media quarterback. And I was like, no, the Chargers are a social media team. Justin Herbert's not the problem. He's like, if anyone else throws a interception at the end of the game, they get flamed. It's like, I think Justin Herbert is doing a lot for this team.
Yeah.
It's the rest of the team that can't quite get over the
Yeah,
hump.
no, he's made some incredible throws this year.
And he's been playing with like broken ribs for what feels like 3 months now. Okay, your favorite over PFT.
Can I have permission to say if Joe Flacco plays, I would like to take the Jets-Bears over?
Yes.
Can I do that? And then can I put in
what about,
if he doesn't?
What about Justin Fields too?
No, this is strictly based on Flacco. It's the Flacco over.
Okay. All right.
Is that okay?
Yes. If Joe Flacco plays, he has to start.
If Joe Flacco starts, correct.
If Joe Flacco starts, you get the over.
I want the over in this, which is 39.5.
Well, it might change because Joe Flacco.
I'll take I'll take the adjusted Flacco.
Okay. Fair. Okay. I
Does that
think
work?
that's allowed. Yep.
Okay, because this might be my last time to ever bet on Joe Flacco to score touchdowns.
That's allowed.
Now, if he doesn't, I'm going to call an audible, and I'm going to go with the Saints and the 49ers.
Same.
43?
Same.
That's what I've got.
Same. Now, the thing that makes me a little nervous about that is you have Jimmy G and Andy Dalton coming off of good games respectively.
Yeah.
That makes me nervous.
But it's not prime time.
It's not prime time, but that does, that's like they just hit blackjack on the table.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for them to get a 16 against a face card.
Maybe Andy's just in a stride. And the nice thing about Jimmy G is even if he comes out and has one of his trademark Jimmy G egg games, they can just hand the ball off, and they'll probably still score 24 points if they do that.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so I'm on that with you. Billy, go ahead. Your favorite over. Oh, you have the Jets.
Yeah.
So what's it at right now?
39.5.
39.5 locked in. That will be a problem if you'll basically get the benefit. If Trevor Siemian starts, your over is fucked, but the Jets is a great line value.
Well, what the Jets need to do is blow out this team and just statement win, show the offense works, and that's what they need.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Jake.
I'm taking Rams Chiefs over 44. This is simply a respect pick off of their last matchup together, 54-51.
That's the last time they played.
Yeah, 2018, 2022.
Damn. Yeah.
So you see the teams. Doesn't matter the context. It's just
I like it.
105 points last time.
I like it.
They only need 44. Easy.
Are you a little nervous about the fact it might be Bryce Perkins?
No, because Chiefs can put up 54 again.
That's true. They could. All right, let's finish off
51. Yeah.
with the unders. Send everyone off. Henry.
Daniel. My under.
Look, we're like almost ready for vacation. We're 10 minutes away from vacation. The vibes are good.
Not me. I still got work to do.
You work so fucking hard.
I know. Fuck you.
Doesn't count.
But it's like not even funny because no one's even picking numbers.
No, I know. But it's funny because
just
if
burning
17 gets hit.
69.
16.
Oh, so close.
Gotta spread my wings. My under is Jets Bears. If it's Zach Wilson versus Trevor Siemian and you bet the over, you're a crazy person.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Did you write that down, or are you trying to?
You trying to fade Billy?
Because we're tied.
Ooh. It's a little early to do
it's
that.
week 12.
It's a little early.
Billy, I don't know. I don't know if you heard the beginning when I picked the Cowboys. I didn't write anything down.
Yeah, that's true. And also, we will start doing you have to do a secret ballot when we get to like the last few weeks of the season.
It doesn't really take a genius to naturally fade Billy, though.
Also,
like you're just going to take the Jets.
Also, that might help him.
I had to watch Zach Wilson last week, and yeah, fading you is actually. If I was, I'm not even gonna get into it.
Okay.
Zach Wilson's
not worth it,
Zach
bro.
Wilson's the worst quarterback in the NFL. Trevor Siemian, great guy. Shout out Trevor Siemian, but you haven't played in Justin Fields' offense. It's not gonna be good.
No.
Either way, Justin Fields is banged up. Give me the under.
Yeah. All right, Max.
I'm fading you two. I have Niners.
What the fuck?
Under.
The fuck, dude?
Why
How
is
could
that,
you do
Max?
that?
You love fading us.
Yeah. I just am. It's strategic. That's what I was going for. I was, I'm trying to catch Big Cat. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead, PFT.
My under, I'm going to go Texans-Dolphins. Just because I do think that there's a possibility that the Texans
are just garbage.
Make this, well,
they are garbage.
They are garbage. We know that.
46.
But they also could make it just really, really ugly.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, my under, I'm surprised it's still on the board. No one's talked about this game. It's a terrible game. Broncos-Panthers, under 36. It is very low. 36? Very low.
Oh, my God.
The Broncos, though, are 9-1 to the under. And their unders have been like under 40 in like the last 4 or 5 weeks. So they just can't score, and they have a good defense.
Well, somehow they've actually figured out a way to make unders entertaining.
Yeah.
Because they keep getting lower and lower and lower, and you keep getting challenged to bet on the under, and you keep saying to yourself, there's no way that Russell Wilson could be this bad yet again. And so it is actually kind of an exhilarating under to bet.
It absolutely is, because if they score a touchdown in the first quarter, you feel like you're fucked.
Yeah.
One touchdown in the first 15 minutes, and you're like, I'm dead.
Do you see that they waived Melvin Gordon?
Oh, they did?
Yeah, so that it seemed like it was maybe going to happen earlier this season when he fumbled again, but I think they actually gave him a real honest to God, what's the word that I'm looking for? Ultimatum, which is the next time you fumble, we're going to fire you.
You're right.
And it lasted for a long time. Like, he hasn't fumbled for most of the season, but I guess they just stuck true to their word, and they're like, oh, you fumbled last week? We told you next time you're gone.
Yeah, this was very clear.
Yeah.
You couldn't have been more clear about this
You
one.
knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Okay, unders, Billy and Jake, let's wrap it up.
Packers, Eagles, 46.5. I feel like even though he has struggled this season, the way to play Aaron Rodgers is try to keep him up the field. Eagles are going to run the ball. Clock's going to run down. Eagles just doing long running drives. It's going to be an under, and the Packers can't score.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate Sunday night unders. Feel like they hit all the time. Maybe not last week, but every other week. Every time I bet the over. Jake.
If the group allows it, I'd like to forfeit my under after taking the under against the big gobble. I feel
bad.
that
was, come on. You can still win it. It's the last game.
Okay.
You're good.
I feel bad, though.
No. You shouldn't feel bad. I did that just because it was funny.
Okay. I'm rooting for the big gobble.
The Lions are going to score 80 points.
Yes.
The Lions-Bills game is going to be 80 points. You're going to have no problem. We're going to need like 14 points in the night game.
Deal. I'm also taking Bears-Jets under 39.5.
Okay. Bears-Jets under 39.5. Any games that we missed? I think we hit them all.
Let's see.
Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night. This is tough. Steelers-Colts. Real tough.
Also, my flex of the year, I think, is dead.
Oh!
Is it? It's by the time you're listening, it'll already be officially dead, but it has to be by the end of the day today. And I looked, and Schefter tweeted it for last week's game at around 11 a.m. So.
Oh, no, Jake.
But they took the Cowboys out in 2020. So it has happened before.
Yeah, but
they were bad that year.
Jake, you picked a hell of a time to call your flex of the year.
I know.
Right off the bat against the Cowboys.
But like Big Cat once said he's addicted to game of the year. It's just I thought of him like, oh, I'm going all in.
Yeah, flex of the year. It was.
So I hope I'm wrong. I hope we're listening. You're listening now, and you're like, and Schefter tweeted out in the afternoon, but I'm retired from predicting flexes.
Nah, you know what? You're out of the retirement.
Okay.
You're coming back.
I'm back.
I'm unretiring.
I think the Patriots and Raiders play in a few weeks.
Okay, so there we go. Okay. Nice, calling that one. Yeah, you got to be the flex guy.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything we want to say to wrap up? It feels always Thanksgiving feels like we've made it to the other side of football season. Not that
I'm a little bit sad.
I'm sad.
I mean, Thanksgiving is a great holiday, and I love vacations probably more than anybody in this room. But it's sad that football season is almost,
we've done more football than we have.
I almost said
you
that
love
football
vacation
season is
so
more
much
than
you're going on a
over.
work trip during one.
Yeah, someone's got to pay these bills.
It's true.
How do you think you're able to afford your vacations, eh?
That's a fact.
I couldn't even tell you the last one.
It does though.
By the way, this trip is sponsored by Stella Blue Coffee.
Yes,
so drink Stella Blue
yes.
Coffee. Stella Blue, your number one coffee for all your coffee needs.
StellaBlueCoffee.com. Go check it out. Rave reviews coming in. But yeah, this does feel. It feels like nut crunching time after Thanksgiving.
It's definitely nut crunching time.
It's like who's gonna actually do something here?
Nut cutting time. I would even say.
Nut cutting time. Yeah.
Thankful for football.
Yeah. Thanks, Billy.
Thankful for football. Don't forget,
Very thankful.
Don't get convinced to do some turkey trot this Thanksgiving. Go sling the pigskin with the neighborhood kids.
Just throw it around.
Yeah.
I like that, Billy. That's a good
not
message.
enough guys. Like, COVID's over. Go find the your neighbors and go play football.
You know what? I actually think Instagram has ruined the neighborhood football game on Thanksgiving because everyone wants to do their fun run, take a picture, that whole thing. Just go out, play football.
Go clothesline your neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, get really hurt.
Yeah.
Have at least someone at Thanksgiving be like badly hurt.
Get some rough touch.
The people in the hospital, in the ER right now, they're lonely. They're working on Thanksgiving. Go pay them a visit.
Yeah, they would love to hear the story about how you would have caught it if you didn't blow out your Achilles. That's exactly what they want on Thanksgiving. Okay. We'll see everyone on Monday. No show Friday, obviously.
Be safe.
69.
Everybody out there, use Ubers and Lyfts.
Yes.
Nobody get in trouble this weekend.
Yes. Do that. Hank, have you ever gotten this?
Nope.
Today's date is 112222. So I feel like
Whoa.
I might change it up and go 22.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go 64.
I'm going to go
17.
11.
You're going 11?
Because 112222.
You're going 11.
Going 11.
17.
And I see
17, yeah.
17. I don't like where it's placed right now.
Will you pick a number
17's
for me, Hank? Please?
almost
Just
getting sucked
no,
right
for
now.
Thanksgiving,
No.
Hank.
All right, fine.
Thank you.
72.
72. Thank you, Hank. What, you see it at the bottom?
20.
It's actually right at the top.
20.
All right, thank you, Hank. All right, 72 is my number. Would this be a Thanksgiving miracle? Hank has
Come on.
11.
I got 17 shows left, by the way.
I've seen 11 bounce around.
Oh my God! 64 again!
And I guessed it and had Hank. That backfired.
3 out of 4.
It's a wagon.
Back to back.
That backfired.
Never has happened before.
That actually might be our first dynasty.
That's a shame.
64 is now tied with 52
Oh,
for the
hey.
lead.
I don't care if I get it.
Wow,
I've
9
gotten it.
times.
That's funny that happened. You should have taken 64 when I asked.
Don't do this.
No, you
Shoulda,
gave
coulda,
me a
woulda.
number. I took 72. You should have hopped
3
on
shows in a
64.
row.
That's insane.
I love that Jake is like legitimately like ready to
I mean,
jump
think
out
of
of
the
his
odds
skin.
of that.
It's crazy.
Where are you putting it in when you put it back in?
right here.
Same place all the balls go, Billy.
Right there.
Maybe the place is.
Yeah, but he just pulled out like 7 balls, too.
Yeah.
How many repeats are there?
Hank, it's never been easier to
Imagine
guess.
if your favorite number was 64.
Yeah, and it's also never been easier
You'd be 3 in a row.
to guess the lottery ball number. It's never been easier.
You have to get 64 next show.
We should.
I don't have to do shit.
If 64 pops up next show, I think we have to retire it.
Well, it's tied for the lead with 52.
No, you got to keep it going. Greatness doesn't quit.
Maybe like make
64.
it walk away for a couple seasons.
Oh,
have play a
wow.
different sport.
All right. Well, from our family to yours, happy Thanksgiving. We'll see everyone on Monday.
Let us be the first to wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
Ben Franklin wanted the national symbol to not be the bald eagle, but the turkey, because the turkey is only found in the continental United States.
Love you guys.